In a world that tried to confine, Raven J took flight. She's feeling divine, with a heart full of truth and lips so red. Living her life, she's breaking the thread. From the shadows to the light, she's making her way. Gonna dance to a rhythm, no games to play. With a fierce spirit, she's owning her name. Raven J's blazing, they can't dim her flame. Raven J, hear her roar, dancing through the night, always wanting more. Breaking down walls, she won't be ignored. Raven J's spirit soaring. In a world that tried to
So all two of you who are watching, hi there. It's going to be a decent night, I think. Hopefully, I've never streamed on a Thursday. I didn't know you could, but I guess you can. And there's somebody actually waiting backstage who apparently knew that you could do it. I don't. So let me bring Steve Shives on.
Hello.
So, did you know this?
You know, I don't usually stream on Thursday either, but I'm told there's no law against it.
All right. Even
So,
in New Jersey. Whew.
apparently,
Everything's legal in Jersey.
that's what I hear.
Great.
I'm good. I'm just typing out something to share this with my vast audience so people can come watch us.
Yeah, because I have a whole two people. I used to have reach. I don't anymore.
Isn't YouTube funny that way? You stop you stop posting regularly, and it's just like, oh, who are you?
Suddenly you're Satan.
Well,
Oh, fucking weird is that? I don't know. Yeah, I did leave, and yeah, the algorithm says, oh well, then fuck you too then.
basically, oh, you're breaking up with me, huh? Okay, I never wanted you anyway.
You want my records back? So how's my sound? Is it good? I'm not sure. Hang on. Did you hear that?
I did not.
Okay.
What
How
was
about this?
that? Oh,
How about this? Did you hear that?
I
Like a
didn't hear
tap?
anything. No. I can hear you, obviously. We're having a conversation, but you are a little kind of tinny or distorted or something. But I mean, I can make out your, yeah.
Well, I have a new mic, and I'm not sure if I'm on it or if I'm not sure which one I'm on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can edit mic. Yeah, it's not the one I want. What do I want to do here? I don't think it's. How's that sound?
That's better.
Is it louder?
It's clearer.
How about
I
this?
wouldn't say louder, but it's clearer.
Okay, how about this?
Say something. Oh yeah, okay, I can hear something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're tapping the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear like something scratching on it or something. Yeah.
Oh no, cord's not long enough. There's
Oh my God.
new mic.
Oh hey. Noise.
Hello, Mike.
Noise.
So, and I got a new cam. It's got the ring light, so that way I can darken all this. And speaking of darken, oh my God. I didn't put a face on. I didn't get ready. I'm like, you know what? If people can't handle me at my worst, they don't deserve me at my best.
That's exactly goddamn right.
How are you?
I'm good. I mean, every time somebody asks me how I am and I say I'm good, I always feel a pang of guilt because the entire world has gone to shit. But me personally, in my own little corner. I'm doing okay. So yeah.
I'm expecting Serious Mind to hop on. So to have Joe would be really good. I want
Yeah.
to there's a lot to this. There's so much. I personally, I mean, there's just so much for me to talk about. I mean, I've got like probably about 7 or 8 videos that are like in various stages of production,
Yeah.
which is unusual for me. Like back in the day, back when YouTube gave a shit about me, I didn't put any effort or thought into my videos. I would just turn on the camera, swear a lot,
Yeah.
usually directed at an individual person, and then post it. And then an hour later, make another one doing the same thing at someone else.
Just check them off the list.
And yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Venom Fang out,
Absolutely.
check. You know, uh, Nephilim Free, whatever the fuck his name was,
Oh
check.
my God. Yeah. That was Murderer's Row of crazy YouTubers back in the day. Just,
Oh God. Yeah, and it was just so easy. But I mean, I had views. I could command an audience. And now it's just like Dev Show, who? Dev Shot. I don't
some of
television
us
making
remember,
a
my
sound.
friends.
Yeah,
Some of us remember.
and this is why I want Joe here because I didn't get a chance to really talk to him about it. But I mean, I don't know. Do I talk about the rebirth of an icon, or or do I talk about um, the democratic sweeping of the most recent election? Do I talk about trans rights? Do I talk about my videos? Do I talk about Steve? Hi.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Do I talk about there's no Star Trek 4 and that they've decided to, just fuck the whole Kelvin timeline, which
Yeah.
I mean, uh, I know a lot of people are upset with the whole that even exists, but they're stories. Whether or not it fits with the canon that you're comfortable with is kind of irrelevant because it's a
Yeah.
separate timeline. It doesn't matter if it fits with the and there's
Yeah.
stories and stories, at least most anyway, are worth telling. Um, I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
gypped. I'm sorry, that's
Well,
not a very I feel ripped
you
off.
feel ripped off. Yeah, that's the more sensitive way to say it. But like, I mean, I'm like, I really like those Star Trek movies. So
Yeah, I like
I
them.
would be fine with another one. But at the same time, it's like, well, we got 3 good ones. Okay. Um,
True. I
you
mean, and
know,
they're a little bit more pew pew pew
yeah,
than I typically like my Star Trek to be.
me too.
Um, you hope for if it's Trek on it, you hope for something a little bit more usually cerebral.
Yeah.
But pew pew
Yeah,
pew.
I
But
agree.
I mean, Kirk was always really quick to fisticuffs, but I mean, there was still you know a certain
Yeah.
amount of diplomacy.
I think the thing about it that disappoints me, and it doesn't really it's not because of that movie in particular, but just it reminds me of just how Hollywood works at the moment. Because I'm pretty sure, and like I don't have any inside info at all, but I'm pretty sure the reason why it's taken so long to get any kind of new Star Trek movie made, whether it's with this cast or something completely new or whatever, is because the studio thinks that they have to spend a certain amount of money on it and they don't want to spend that amount of money. And
Right.
there's this problem throughout Hollywood where the people in charge of green lighting movies have gotten it into their head that that they have to spend a certain amount of money on a movie. And then once they justify it to themselves and say, okay, yes, now it's worth it to spend this amount of money on the movie. And then that movie underperforms and doesn't make a profit or doesn't make as big of a profit as they wanted because they spent so much damn money to make it in the first place. Then they say, oh, well, obviously people don't want to see this anymore. And it's like, no,
Right.
nobody told you to spend $200 million to make this movie. You didn't, it
So
doesn't have to be that expensive.
here's
You
here's
know?
my opinion. I don't believe that Star Trek translates well to movies.
Mhm.
What brings people into the theaters and what brings people to their living room couch, are two very different things.
Oh, I agree. And I do think, I mean, for years, the two big sci-fi franchises, Star Wars and Star Trek, like that was the main, that was the, okay, well, Star Wars is movies and Star Trek is
Right.
TV. And
Right.
yeah, Star Trek also does movies, and some of the Star Trek movies are really good, but it's mostly a TV thing.
It's mostly
And,
TV.
and now it's kind of cross-pollinated where, oh, but Star Wars does some TV now, and,
Yeah, yeah.
so, I mean, but
I
generally,
think
yeah.
the whole thing with Trek is because of things like diplomacy, because of the storylines revolving around people talking,
Mhm. Yeah.
as opposed to pew pew pew. You don't want to spend $50 on a date to go to watch people sit around and just discussing their differences.
Yeah.
You could do that at home, you
Well,
know.
yeah, and also again, it's part of this sort of this attitude that certain people in Hollywood have that, well, things have to be a certain way. Like the idea of just making like a relatively modest, like 90-minute Star Trek movie where it's not like a 2.5 hour special effects extravaganza with
Right,
space battles and explosions. And, it's like, it doesn't have to be that. You can make, I mean,
right.
it's Star Trek, so it's going to have some special effects. It's going to be like a sci-fi adventure thing, but it doesn't have to be like the most amazing thing anybody's ever seen. Like people are sick of the most amazing thing they've ever seen. Because everybody's seen everything. Like people, I was talking about this the other day to my friend Jason. People are sick of Jurassic Park. Like
Yes, but they keep making them.
people are, yeah, exactly, and people are sick of it. And it's like I just watched the new one, the Jurassic World Rebirth on Peacock the other day, and I mean, it was fine, but I was like, why did they make this? Like,
Right.
who was like beating down the door and said, give us another Jurassic Park movie? Nobody. We're tired of it.
I'm tired of
you
them.
know?
But people went to the theater anyway because if they didn't go to the theater, they wouldn't have made another one.
Oh, sure. They think there's still some money in it, but yeah, I mean, there, and I always thought one of the most promising, Jurassic Park 3 is still how I think that franchise should have gone, which is Jurassic Park 3. It was the third one. They could sense that maybe interest was waning a little after the first two, and they said, let's do a third one. Let's cut the budget. Let's make it an hour and a half long and just make like a nice, tight action movie with dinosaurs. And that's what they did, and it was really good. It wasn't like, it didn't give you like the feels that the first one gave you when you saw like the dinosaurs on the big screen for the first time. It wasn't like that, but it was a really cool, fun, well staged, relatively modest, like 90-minute action movie. And it's like you could have just done that instead of saying, let's go back to the 2.5 hour epic. And, every movie has a new dinosaur, and this one's bigger and meaner than
This
the
one's
last
bigger,
one. And it's
right?
like,
The
you're gonna,
dinosaur that was in
yeah.
the last movie gets eaten in this one.
Exactly. It's like you're gonna run dry on that real quick, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of comments here. Can you
Yeah.
just see the comments, right? There's a
Yeah, I'm
couple of
looking at them.
comments here, like Avery talks more movies, which love your screen name, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
I disagree about not having new fans. I recently went for the first time to a Ren Fair. Whole pirate get up. I
Ooh,
look
cool.
fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
and the number of young people wearing Trek uniforms is just amazing. I think there's a certain amount of Trek's audience that was always misfits.
Mhm.
Um, and always, there's always a certain number of fans that were LGBTQ. Um,
Yes.
and I think that the misfit category and the queer category, as far as fans of Trek, increased dramatically over the years. One of the reasons is people really identified with Spock. Um,
Yeah.
the outsider
Yeah.
that had to get along with everybody, and you know, um, so that's part of it. Um, and I think that the younger fans, newer fans, are a lot different than some of the fans that a lot of us are used to. Um,
Sure.
and they're a lot more. How do I say this? without sounding like I'm not like politically correct, some might say, or on the woke side of things, which I know is such bullshit, but like they're like really far out there on that wing. So they love Discovery. I
Yeah.
liked it. I didn't love it.
Me too. I'm in
But
the same. I think
they
we're on the same page. Like I liked a lot of it, and I found a lot of it very frustrating. That's basically where I come down on it.
okay, the elevator scene.
Oh,
Do I need to say anything else?
the gigantic turbo lift inside the ship. I don't know. That was so dumb. It kind of won me over. I was like, this is so dumb. I'm not. How can you get mad at this? Like, this is so. It's
I'm watching it
ridiculous.
going, where the fuck are they?
What? It's like some parallel universe inside the ship. It's like, okay, whatever, go ahead. You know, it reaches a certain point where I'm just like, fine, go ahead.
The turbo lift goes into Narnia.
Yeah, apparently.
Uh,
It's like the Jaunt, like that fucking Stephen King story where it enters this like endless. Yeah,
Or-
but I mean,
Or Stranger Things, right? The turbo lift goes through the
Yeah.
upside down.
it goes into the upside down, and it's faster to go through that way, you know.
Somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Discovery. Parts of Discovery I liked a lot. And I mean, my main problem with it was just that I felt like they never got the season-long story arc right. They just, it was like you're trying to tell like one story across 13, 15 episodes, and you just can't, you're not good at it. Like the people who make, you're just not, and very few people are. That's a really tough format to pull off, which is why I wonder why it's used so often, because it's so easy to screw up, and yet so many shows still continue to try and do it that way. And
So my
You
issues
know.
with Discovery started with the first episode.
Yeah.
Everybody was like such shitty people to each other. I mean, it was like a ship full of assholes. I'm like, this is what, and not to sound like one of those people, but I was like,
Right.
this isn't Trek.
Yeah.
Stand up, please. Why? What's the matter? Good night, kiddo. He comes running out in his underwear. He's just like, Daddy, stand up, please. No, I will not.
You're not the boss of me.
He is.
Well, I guess that's kind of how it works. But
Yeah, he is.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like a whole ship full of assholes that just like resented
Yeah.
each other. It's like that's not the Trek I remember, and like all of the other iterations of Trek. I mean, the closest thing that I could think of would have been Voyager when the Maquis came aboard, and there
Mhm.
was that friction between characters because it was two crews having to merge into
Right.
one.
Right.
This was like 8 crews that just didn't want to be with each other.
I mean, I do think to go back to what the commenter said, to what Avery said, I do think there's a little something to the idea that they're not making new fans, though, because I mean, I think obviously they are. Like, there are new Star Trek fans. People are continuing to find it, and
Right.
there are young people who are Star Trek fans, but I don't think the new stuff, and this isn't just Star Trek, this is a lot of stuff. I don't think the new stuff is necessarily doing a great job of reaching a really broad audience. And honestly, I mean, Star Trek has never been great at that compared to other stuff anyway. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why Star Wars was always and still is so much more popular than Star Trek, because like regular people would go see Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And some regular people go to see Star Trek, but most of the Star Trek fans are people who identify as like, well, Star Trek is like one of their things. You don't just
Yeah.
watch Star Trek because you think it's a good show. It's like
Right.
one of your things.
It's one of your
And-
things. It's your fandom.
And yeah, it's
and
one of your-
Star
and-
Wars has they have a large and robust and growing fandom,
yes,
but they also have just people who watch Star Wars, which
Exactly.
is separate than the fandom. And Trek
Exactly.
doesn't really have that.
no.
They have fandom.
No. And again, it's not just Star Trek, but a lot of stuff, especially like a lot of stuff that attracts fandoms around it, like superhero stuff and sci-fi stuff. They're not very good, and they don't really try to appeal to people beyond their pre-existing dedicated fandom. And and that's a fine line to walk because you don't want
Mhm.
to. I mean, ideally, I don't think the people who create these shows should be worried about what the audience thinks at all. They should just be trying to make the best show that they can make.
Agreed.
But I think a lot of times what they do is they try to appeal too much to that pre-existing fandom. You know, they pitch it at, okay, let's make a show that the Trekkies will like, or let's make a show that the Star Wars fans will like. And they lose sight of the fact that, you know, you can make a good show or a good movie that the pre-existing fans will like, but that will also be interesting and accessible to people who don't make Star Trek their whole fucking personality. And, you know, and I
Yeah,
think that's I think that's a good thing to do, you know?
I know, I agree. I agree. And I think another thing that's killing it is exactly what again it was Avery
Yeah.
said. Um, they 8 episodes. That's not a season. That's a mini series. What the what?
I mean, I will say if they do insist on trying to do like the serialized story arcs, I would much rather them do 8 than 10 or 12 or 15 because it's just easier to maintain and like it's easier to an 8 episode miniseries is easier to pull off than a fucking, you know, 12 or 15 episode miniseries.
No,
But, you know,
agreed. But when you
yeah.
get into like Strange New Worlds, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think I disagreed with your last video about it.
Okay, you liked it better than I did?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, well
The
good. Well, good
most
for you.
recent season,
Yeah. Yeah.
had its rough patches. I agree with that, but I don't think it was as bad as I think your take was on it.
Okay.
I think you're a little bit more critical, and yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. I
Okay.
mean, sometimes some of us just kind of like, this is my thing, and I like it, and even when it's bad, I like it. So fuck you.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, sure.
you know,
Well, I mean, I think I liked it a little bit more than even some people did. I know there were some takes that I saw some people that, I mean, especially with some of the episodes that, I mean, I didn't really like them either, but there were people that were like, this is the most abominable thing. This is the worst thing. Star Trek is dead. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. How could they
the
do
musical,
this?
the
And I'm like,
musical episode.
no, I like the musical episode, but
I
I
did.
mean, but there were, you know, there were episodes this season that people were like, I can't believe that. Oh my God. You know, I'm like, okay, look, I didn't dig it either, but let's calm down.
What upsets
Like
me
it's
is
not,
people. I get upset about people who get upset about the Gorn.
yeah, I don't,
It's just like, okay, so the original Gorn in the original series was a guy in a rubber suit. And do you know why it
Exactly.
was a guy in a rubber fucking suit? Because that's all they could do. Like
Exactly.
special effects wise, money wise, time wise. That's all they could do. That was the best that you were gonna get no matter what. It wasn't that this is the way the Gorn were
Yeah.
meant to be portrayed forever. It's just
No.
that that's what they could do.
It's like getting mad because Godzilla's not a guy in a suit anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I get because I love Godzilla and I love those cheesy 1960s and 70s Godzilla movies where it's
And he's
like a guy
stomping
in a
on
suit.
Tokyo, and you can see the
Yeah.
rubber suit
Oh,
shaking.
yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. But I'm not, I mean, when I saw like Godzilla -1, I wasn't mad that it wasn't a guy in a suit. I was crying because it's such a beautiful movie and it fucking broke my heart. But I wasn't like, yo, this would be perfect, but if only they didn't change Godzilla. Like, come on.
Right,
What
that's
are
the
our
point.
priorities here, you know?
And I think the Gorn is fantastic. There's people who
Yeah.
are just like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
can't believe that, that this is a creature that's capable of space flight and all this other stuff." It's like, but there's the Packlids. I mean,
Yeah, you're watching the wrong show. You're watching the wrong show. Like, what about the Klingons? How the I mean, people have made that remark about the Klingons too, and I've said the same thing. You're watching the wrong show.
You're
Who
watching the wrong
cares? I mean, they're Klingons. They got a ship somehow. I don't care. I'm not watching it going, well, if all
what
they
I
do
like
is fight
about
and kill each other, how'd they
the
develop
the
warp
the
drive? I don't care.
Enterprise. Enterprise answered that though. And see, the thing is, people don't give Enterprise enough credit. Enterprise answered a lot of questions that people had with absolutely beautiful and workable answers that do not disrupt canon at all. Like, what about the Klingons? How did they get that? Well, when the Klingons have Archer and they're putting him on trial, his advocates just like, you thought we were all warriors?
Yeah.
I was a lawyer and my father was a
Right.
doctor. And it's like, so there are, you know,
Yeah.
Klingons who actually pursue education and knowledge.
Right.
God, you guys are being total dorks.
That's what I do, baby. I drink and do work.
Oh, that's great.
Klingons.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and I'm killing time waiting for Joe to get in so we could talk about
Yeah.
politics and the other big thing I want to talk about.
Excellent.
Because I have the ring light. Look at me on here. I'm all black back, but I'm lit up.
Okay.
You got new equipment, you use it. It's got a light. I can even make it brighter if I want. Whoa, look at that.
Hey, hey.
Steve about to have a whole moment on head ridges.
Oh yeah, that's
I
one of my
liked
yeah.
Enterprise's answer
Yeah.
for the ridges.
We're well, you know, we're pretty far apart on that, but that's okay. That's okay. No,
well,
I just
goodbye. Wait, goodbye, Steve. Wait. There you go.
The naked display of power, the abuse of power.
Damn straight. This is the age of Trump. Damn it.
That's I will silence you. Oh, that's great.
And NB badasses. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, hi geek. That's my pal, some random geek. Yeah, no, the forehead ridges thing is just it's just one of those things that they explained that I don't think they needed to explain. And I still think
I don't think they needed to explain it either. I think the fact that they did though, and that they found, in my opinion, an explanation that wove in so many different parts of the Star Trek universe, like that was because of the augments. So it's related to Khan, right? And explains the difference between the old. I mean, yeah, you could use the same thing for the Gorn, right? Oh, it's so many years ago, they did the best they could, right? So it doesn't matter what they're doing now. It's just updated. They have more money and they have better budget. You don't like that as a reason. Well, you're watching the wrong fucking show. I get all that. I'm with you there. But the fact that they were able to do it, and it, like I said, wove in other things, and it just, wow. I can see how that makes sense, because in the real universe, things happen that lead to other things that go this way and that way. So I think it was great.
Sure. Trent in the chat says, I found the two penises thing way more amusing. So this is the thing where it's strongly implied by Discovery that Klingons have two penises, that Klingons who have penises have two penises. And because there's a shot, it's a Discovery episode where they're on they're in like a Klingon marketplace and like a Klingon colony, and there's a shot of a Klingon taking a piss, and it's shot, like they usually show people peeing in movies and TV shows, where it's like from behind, and you just see the stream coming out, and there were two streams, and they were like, that far apart. So he's a Klingon with two dicks, and I love that, because my favorite thing about Klingons, and the way that I prefer that Klingons be presented, is, hey, these guys are dumb. This whole idea is dumb. Let's just make this goofy. And, because I actually, on my channel today, I reviewed the episode, the TNG episode where they hit Worf with the pain sticks. It's like Worf's Klingon birthday, and he's mopey because everybody forgot his birthday. So they throw him a birthday party, and the Klingon birthday party is, hey, a bunch of other Klingons will shock you in the ribs with pain sticks while you stagger through, a gauntlet of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And that's what I like about it, is that it's utterly ridiculous. And one of Worf's lines is, the bile of my enemies flows over my hands. And I'm like, come on. Come on. Come on. I love it. But yeah, if I was writing a Star Trek show and somebody said, how about Klingons have two dicks? I'd be like, sure. Fuck it.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go for it.
It's funny. So,
yes.
dicks.
Apparently. I mean, it's canon in my head. I see no reason to question it. Unless they do an episode in the future where somebody says, "Did you see that poor Klingon? He only has 2 dicks. What happened to his other dicks?" And then we have no idea how many they're supposed to have.
2 dicks is twice the fun.
So they say. Well, you know what, Trent? I mean, you can try that. Or, I mean, the other thing is, I mean, your wife doesn't have to like Star Trek.
Yeah,
If it's
I
just
mean,
not her thing, that's,
here's the thing: is a lot of people are turned off by the chat.
That's right. Maybe, yeah. What is the barrier between her and classic Trek? What is it that she's not connecting with? Is it the acting? Because I'm not sure if that gets all that much better. But if it's like
be.
Shatner specifically,
It could be she doesn't like the delivery.
the pauses,
Lines.
the pauses between the words.
Come on, man.
And again, that's just a different. That's one of the things I love about it. When Shatner, when I'm watching a classic Star Trek episode and it's one of the ones where Shatner has like a serious freak out, I'm here for that. I'm like, oh, go baby,
Oh,
go.
man. I think the episode on Strange New Worlds where Paul Wesley did the Kirk,
Yeah, where he's
the
doing Shatner. Yeah,
beautiful. That was
he was.
mwah.
He was terrific. And I mean, how much fun must that have been to do? My God, that must have been
Oh
so
my
much
God.
fun to just
And you
Shatner
know
it up.
Shatner is watching at home going, I don't do that. Do I do that?
Exactly. I don't do that. Yes, you
on.
do, man. Yes, you do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like the Kelvin timeline movies. I think Star Trek Beyond, the last one, is one of the best of all the Star Trek movies. I really like it. And I do think that version is a little more accessible to a non-Trekkie audience. You know, it's more of a popcorn movie, more of a crowd-pleasing movie. But I mean, if your partner doesn't like Star Trek, that's okay. You know,
Yeah, I
I
really did like the Kelvin movies, and I know a lot of Trekkies didn't. Um, I never did understand the freak out
no,
because it's a different timeline. I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's just weird to me that people are going to get upset over something like that. They
And
could
it's
do
yeah.
anything. They could do absolutely anything, and it doesn't interfere with the Trek you love because
And
it's a whole.
what's so weird to me is like the people who made that first movie that established the whole separate timeline deal, they went out of their way to do that. Like they structured their whole story to do that. I mean, I told people at the time, I said, if you're complaining about this, I mean, like if they had hired me to do a Star Trek movie and the idea was let's just cast new actors and do Captain Kirk and Spock stories again, I would have just done it
Yeah.
and not worried about is this the same Captain Kirk or is this the same timeline, or I would have just thought up a story and done it.
And I
And if
got to
somebody
tell
would
you,
have, yeah, and
Chris,
so the
Chris
fact that
Pine.
yeah,
Oh, oof, God. Mm.
he's not hard to look at, is he? I mean,
Oh
he's a
my
good,
God, Chris, he's a beautiful man.
he's a
He is
good
a
looking
beautiful
dude. Yeah,
man. I thought he was a magnificent Kirk, and not just because he was a beautiful. I mean, he was a really good Kirk,
he was a good
And,
Kirk.
and I think Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth. I think he was an amazing Daddy Kirk for 5
Yeah, he
minutes.
was.
I think
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah, I mean, what I like about seeing the different actors get to play those parts. I mean, I'm generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of just going back to the same characters over and over and over again, especially after Star Trek has previously been the franchise where like it was more expansive. And it like with Star Wars for so long, it was, all about Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. And it took it a
Right.
long time for them to kind of start to move away from that. With Star Trek, it was like, oh no, we're just going to tell stories about completely different groups of people. And that's what I liked about it. And then, they were like, well, no, let's go back to Captain Kirk. And then they were like, let's go back to Captain Kirk again. And, so like now we have the Chris Pine Captain Kirk and the Zachary Quinto Spock from the Kelvin movies, but we also have, Paul Wesley Kirk and Ethan Peck Spock from Strange New Worlds. And I think they're both great. I love
I
those guys.
yeah.
But yeah, but what's interesting about it is the good thing about it, despite my reservations about that general thing, is you get to see them do it their way
Right.
without them having to do like an impersonation of the last guy that did
So
it. Like,
like there's reputationally, right?
yeah,
There's things about Kirk from the original series that we never really saw, but we knew that was true about him, right? We knew
right.
that he was this renegade. We knew that he was, he was a rule breaker, that you just know Kirk was in trouble a lot as a kid. You
Yeah.
just know. Now, obviously, we didn't see it, but you just know it. And the Kelvin timeline gave them the opportunity to be like, what would Kirk be like in this situation, in this world?
Yeah.
And I think they kind of nailed it, because it's like, yeah,
Sure.
that's yeah, and that might not be Shat, but that's
No.
Kirk.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and Chris Pine is playing the character in a way that, and just like with Zachary Quinto and Ethan Peck doing their respective versions of Spock, it's recognizable as Spock. It's not Leonard Nimoy, but it's recognizable as Spock.
Right.
And that's what I dig about it. And that's why, and I'm glad that the people who made those movies and TV shows, like they they cast actors and then they gave them the freedom to say, okay, you're playing Captain Kirk, but we don't want you to just be William Shatner. Like, do it your way,
Right.
but be Captain Kirk. And yeah,
Star Trek Beyond. Wait, it was Beyond, right? Yeah, Beyond. Star
Yeah.
Trek Beyond. So the crew is like imprisoned in a camp, right?
Yeah.
And Spock and Kirk, they're trying to find them.
yeah,
And Spock is like, oh, the mineral that I gave her on her necklace, I could use to track her. And Kirk's like, you tracked your girlfriend?
what's all that about? He's like, I didn't do it on purpose, man.
That
It's
was
just a
brilliant.
happy coincidence that I gave my girlfriend a
Look,
tracking device necklace. Like, I wasn't going to use it for that.
That's pretty good.
Meanwhile, back on the ship, Spock's like checking his tricorder every 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck is she doing in that guy's quarters?
Yeah, and yeah, you gave your girlfriend a tracking device.
Where are you at?
And now that he had to announce it, now he has to go delete his hard drive.
Exactly. He's like calling her. Hey, where the fuck are you at? Well, my scanner says you're on deck 3. Who the fuck lives on deck 3?
Free.
God damn it.
That's right.
Paranoid boyfriend Spock.
Well, you know what? That's a theme that continues though, because he gets all upset about.
That's true. He's literally that guy in Strange New Worlds this year.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, Christine, who's this guy? Who's this
guy?
Who's this
He's like-
hunky Irish guy?
Yeah, this is my fiance.
The fuck
You know
is
what
he
was
doing
great?
here?
The musical episode when Jess Bush has her song,
Yeah,
right? And
Yeah.
and the last line, the very last line, right? If I have to leave you, I won't fight it.
yeah,
The first time I watched it, I caught it immediately, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, shit!
this is over.
This is going down." Oh no,
She's out of here, Spock.
that romance didn't last at all.
She's out of here, buddy. Sorry.
I was like, that's got to be the most brutal takedown in the entire Star
Yeah.
Trek history.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't meant to be.
See, true couples share their search history with each other. Hey, honey, I think you'll like this porn I found.
I mean, that's that's a different kind of open relationship.
Joe, where are you?
Yeah, come on, Joe.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead.
Joe's gonna get here, and we're just gonna keep talking about Star Trek.
It'll go
Joe's
from
gonna have
Christmas to
opinions on
Superman.
Star Trek too.
All right, so like I have, I had said at the top of the show, like I have more projects now in
Yeah.
various stages of production than I've ever had in my entire history on YouTube. I think it's just through the whole misery of the Trump and Biden era, that it just I went like through this, and a lot of people, Peach would also know what this is like. You go through this like valley of death, right?
Mm.
Not quite Death Valley, but similar. Um, you know, that that's where all of the motivation and all of the joy and a lot of the things that you had done for so long is suddenly just gone.
Yeah.
Um, and it's bad. It really sucks. And she and I both, we went through a really rough time with like the world sucks. Like everything is on fire
Yeah.
and nobody's doing shit.
Yeah.
Um, After the last election, I kind of got angry and just kind of snapped out of that. And like all the creative juices started going, and I started looking at new things and working with something I know you don't like, and that is AI. Um,
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about this
yeah,
last time. We're
yeah.
doing your music and stuff. Yeah.
And I have a lot of fun with it. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I have all kinds of fun with it. And but that
Yeah.
just started bringing up like all these new ideas and everything. And I started doing all kinds of stuff. And like I got a video coming out, I'm not even exactly sure when, called Look Up in the Sky. I wanted to do it when the Superman movie was released. It's not necessarily about Superman, but it's
Right.
about something that I've talked about on these types of shows a million times, and that's about how society leans on superheroes during hard times, and the fact
Sure.
that there's been so many of them over the last 20 years. What does that say about our society, right?
Yeah.
That's like
It's a
some really deep
yeah.
questions I think that comes up.
I agree.
Um, and so I've got it's ready to shoot, and there's just so many other fucking things.
Yeah.
Um, but as I wanted to have it done. It might be the next one that comes out. I don't know when. I've got another one that is a remake of. I did a video years ago called "The God of Abraham Must Die," and I've kind of like grabbed it and shook it the fuck up and modernized it. And the script is
Yeah.
really good, and it weaves Inherit the Wind lines through
Oh,
it.
cool.
Yeah. If I ever get to shooting it, that'll be good.
Yeah.
So I got a whole bunch of them. I just recently had like the Reason of the Witch. It has like 5 views. I'm like, what the fuck happened? My video before that had like 196 views. But it was about Charlie Kirk, and that's probably why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, so there's all of that. There's trans panic video, a trans rights video, and all that stuff. Lots and lots of stuff that's just like waiting.
Yeah.
Um, and and then in the middle of all of that, I'm like, oh, I want to have another Madness, Mayhem, and Charity event.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
So Stevie Bobby, about 6 months ago, hit me up and she's like, I want to make a video about transphobia and about how, the LGBT community should be like there with trans people. Um, I'm like, okay. And
Mhm.
she's like, well, I wrote this script. Can you read it and tell me if I am like off base on anything? So she sent me the script, and it's right now. It's her most recent video. She released about 2 weeks ago, maybe. Um, and it took her that long to make the video and release it. But so I read through the script and I told her what I liked and what I didn't like, and there wasn't much that I didn't like. Stevie's really good.
Mhm.
Stevie's really, really good at that kind of stuff. And so I was an advisor on her video. So I was like, "Hey, that's so cool."
Woohoo!
So when it was released, I was excited, and it was a
Yeah.
really good video. But I was just like, "Hey, you know what? I want to redo Managed Mammon Charity, and I wanted to raise money for a trans rights or for trans issues charity, a trans charity. Um, a lot of the HIV stuff that we wanted to accomplish with the old MMC series, which has been like 7 or 8 years. It's been like 8 years since there's been a MMC event. Um, so it's a long time.
Yeah.
So now that I'm going to resurrect it, I'm like, well, what do I do here? You know, So I asked Stevie what she thought, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I want to be a part of it." So I'm like, "Okay, so I got Stevie." So I'm like, "Okay, this is something I can do." So what I wanted to do is I got to get a lot of LGBT folks involved, and also a lot of allies. And I'm gonna lean pretty heavily on nostalgia for the old YouTube days.
Sure.
Um, and on, like I said, the LGBT community, and that's basically going to be the thrust of the entire thing. Um, so yeah, I'm jazzed. I'm psyched
Yeah,
for the first time in a long time.
it's really exciting because I remember the old ones fondly. And yeah, and
They
your
were fun.
announcement, you said you're thinking March next year for
And I'm
the
thinking
actual
March. Yeah,
event.
my birthday weekend actually. So
Cool.
that's what I'm shooting for. Hang on, I want to see if I can. Can I do this? Can I do this? For those of you who are unaware, let me find this video file. And I will show you a video because I like showing videos because why the fuck not? Uh, God, I gotta clean this up. There's one with a typo and I had to redo it. I don't know if
Oh,
I
that's
did.
the link. You had to send me two links
Remember,
when
I
you
was like,
messaged
"Oh,
to
that
me.
link
Yeah.
is no good. I got to
Because
send you another link."
because it took me a while before I tried to watch it and I went to click on it and I was like, oh shit, it's gone. So
Okay, so it's either this one or this one. I gotta figure out which one it is and delete the one that's bad. But if this is the one with the typo, I apologize. But let's see. That is not it. But it sounded good, right?
it sounded good, sure.
Remove that bit right there. Get out of here. Get out of the studio. This was so much fun. That was that one. So it's got to be this. Oh, why? Why? Where's the full one? I can't believe I did this. All right. You can get out of the studio too, motherfucker. Get out. Hey, Tommy.
Tommy from the Bronx.
And he's not even in the Bronx anymore. The Bronx misses him, I'm sure.
False advertising.
Right?
Should be Tommy originally from the Bronx.
Hang on a sec. Let me see something. Okay. This should be it. That wasn't the full thing either, but that was just close enough, right? Because
Yeah.
then the rest of it is the MMC the MMC screen that I showed you before.
Okay.
So, but that's
Boy. Talk about nostalgia.
I know, right?
That modem sound takes me back.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't believe I can't find the whole thing. Why? See, I am really bad at organizing this stuff. Like Peach, with all of her videos and stuff, she knows where fucking everything is that she's ever
Yeah.
done. So it went to that like really messed up version of David Bowie, right?
Yeah.
It went from that to this, just so you can see it, and it just says MMC 2026. For those of you who don't know, that's Madness, Mayhem, and Charity. And yeah, you got mail. So anyway, I'm hoping for a good show. I'm hoping I can get it all together. I've got like 5 months.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how big of a show it's going to be. For a lot of reasons. One is the community that I was a part of at the time, that you and I were a part of at the time,
Mhm.
is kind of in tatters these days. There's not
Yeah.
a whole lot left of it. Um, there's a lot more casual viewers on YouTube than there used to be. Right? It's like the age of the YouTuber, is kind of past.
Yeah.
Um, now everybody's an influencer,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever that is. But anyway, so you're on board, you said, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
got Stevie Bobby on board. There's Peach and I. Um, Coctopus Prime.
Okay.
Um, and Joe, I'm sure, will be on. And that's right now, that's about it. But like I said, there's like 5 months. I don't know if I'm going to do a 24 or 36-hour show. Traditionally, they've been 36 hours. But I don't know, because I don't know if I can fill 36 hours anymore. You
Yeah.
know, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
Um, oh my God, edit your video. Why don't you edit your video?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, eat and then edit. Yeah,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
haven't eaten yet, eat and then edit.
Eat and then edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all
Well,
in
yeah, I
caps,
mean,
then edit. Yeah, no, eat and
yeah.
then edit. But I don't blame you. I would want to have it out before midnight too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Um,
kind of a hypocrite saying that because I have delayed meals while editing videos. So I mean, I get it, but it's
yeah,
probably
I mean,
better to eat. Yeah.
I'm editing and my house is on fire, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm almost done.
I'm almost done. Ah,
Why is
But
it taking so long to export? The house is on fire.
oh my God, no, we're just rendering. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I remember, holy shit, I remember back in the day rendering videos, and it's just like an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Ah. Super long streams. Yeah, I wouldn't do it on Twitch, but what I am going to do is it'll be on YouTube. And I'm going to pay for a membership on StreamYard, so I could do I could stream any length I want, and
Yeah.
I could stream it to my channel and 2 other locations. So I'll have a total of 3 that I could actually stream to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never actually done that before. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, especially have like a larger channel to stream on their channel, just to get a larger audience. The
Yeah.
only thing I think we would have to figure out would be how to monitor the chat in all of the locations that it's streaming, because I don't like I know a lot of people don't. I pay attention to the chat. I
Mhm.
don't like to ignore people that are chatting. They took time out of their lives to come see you,
Yeah.
so they deserve to be mocked just like everybody else. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't like leaving chatters and stuff. I hate that. I don't like to go to a stream where they just completely ignore you. That just annoys the
Mhm.
shit out of me. Or only talk to you if you're paying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I know.
I
I
don't like
try
it.
to like when I do a live stream every other Friday, and usually I'm fortunate enough that everyone the people will throw in like a super chat,
Yeah.
but I try to, talk to everybody, not just the super chat
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
because I don't want to, oh, you have to pay to get your question on. Like, no, like,
I mean, I've seen a lot of really, really big channels will do that. Where
yeah,
if you want to be acknowledged at all, it's going to cost you $2. And it's just like, yeah, no. Well, you know what? Then I just won't fucking ask. I'll just
yeah. I
call
know
it.
it's, like my chat is never going by so fast that I can't keep track of it. Like I know if you're on like a big channel that gets thousands of viewers for a stream and they're all in the chat, like it's just zooming by. Like I can kind
Yeah.
of understand wanting to, like how are you going to pick out, one chat message from thousands?
Sure. Well,
But
and
I
then
mean,
even when it's
yeah,
even when it's going slow, like mine do these days, it wasn't always like that. Um, that's what happens when you leave. But you know, it goes slow. You're still not going to acknowledge every single. You're just not. You're just
yeah,
not. You know, um,
yeah.
if I see something that catches my eye, it's like, oh, there you go.
There you go. No,
And
everybody
some
gets it.
random
Yeah.
geek forgets to eat sometimes, and I understand that.
It's called intermittent fasting.
Yeah, Peach does that. I
I
couldn't.
do that. I do that too, actually, but not in. I skip breakfast and usually just have something very, very, very light for lunch. But then I don't skip dinner
Oh no, well, Peach does every other day.
every other
She
day.
goes a
Oh, really?
full
Just like
day.
just fasts the whole day?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I
I don't know
can't
if
do
I
it.
could get. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, and I mean, and just
Yeah.
the way my eating doesn't follow any kind of a pattern anyway. Um, there are days where I eat almost nothing, just
Mhm.
because that's the way it happened that day, and then there are
Sure.
days where I'm just, you know,
I do try to be mindful of it. I mean, I've never, I've never been that concerned with my weight or my appearance, but now that I'm 45 now,
just
and
wait.
the metabolism slows down. I don't want I want to stay, I want to be fit and in shape and healthy. And so about a few years ago, I decided, okay, I'm going to lower my calorie intake. I'm going to at least during Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday I eat very little, and then Saturday I is kind of my cheat day. And basically all bets are off.
I
And
was
then
always thin. I was always thin until I transitioned, and I just blew up.
yeah.
It was just so. I wish I could blame old age, or I could blame, changing eating habits, or what. I can't. I can't. It was transition.
Ah,
I gained,
womanhood.
yeah, yeah, I gained almost 100 pounds. Yeah.
Well, it's because Eve ate that apple.
Yeah,
That's
bitch.
it. Eve ate the apple and fucked it up for everybody, for cis people and for trans people. It's all fucked up because of Eve,
It's all fucked
and
up.
it's her fault.
45, you are old, bro. Please. I remember 45.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the young one on the stream at the moment. And will be if Joe ever gets here too. I'll still be the youngest one. But yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
you
I
get
was.
yeah.
I'm gonna be 55 in March. So
You look great. The key is to not act your age.
well, I've nailed
You
that.
know. Yeah, you just,
That's fine. I've nailed that. The only thing I do that's age appropriate is I complain about my age.
there you go. There you
So yeah,
go.
the transition left that all untouched.
The immaturity didn't go away.
No,
Yeah.
it did not put the weight in the right places. My
Yeah.
God, I wish that were the case. I like that. This is true. This is right here is truth.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
this needs to be on a t-shirt. Probably is.
And you know, I mean, I do think a lot of the sort of conflict and strife that exists between different generations would be a lot less if older people were better at remembering what it was like to be young.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like,
I think actually, and to put a finer point on it, I think, I mean, I agree, but I also think that everything would be so much easier if the younger generations just accepted that Generation X was the peak of humanity.
right? Come on.
Just saying.
I mean, look, I was born right on
You're right on the
the
cusp.
line.
Yeah.
I was born in 1980, so right on the line. So I'm either an incredibly young Gen Xer or an incredibly old
There's a term for people like you,
yeah,
actually. It's Zennial.
Zennial. Yeah. Yeah,
Zen.
and you know, so like I look at people your age like sort of proper Gen Xers cuz I mean you know, I'm the oldest child in my family. Like it was me and then my younger brother. So I'm the older brother. So I don't have an older brother. So I look at Gen Xers as like my older brothers and sisters, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I'm of an age where I can be like, so many of my younger days and memories and my references and everything else about life comes from John Hughes movies. But at the
Sure.
same time, I grew to understand they're so problematic.
Well, and I think that's another big part of growing up, though,
I guess, yeah.
is realizing that a lot of the stuff you liked when you were growing up, like you still probably like it, but you watch it with fresh eyes, and you're like, ooh,
Like John Cusack with the radio outside the window. It's like, dude, go home. You're
go home,
creepy.
man. Yeah, go home,
Um,
man.
there was nothing wrong with Allison's makeup. She was fine with the
She
black
looked
shit on her
great.
eyes.
Yeah, she looked great in Breakfast Club. I agree. She looked great. Leave her
So
alone.
leave her alone.
She's fine the way she is. Leave her alone.
Like the John Hughes documentaries. That's right.
She's in high school. Of course she's miserable.
So this is
Yeah.
how much of a Gen Xer I am. For those of you who aren't really familiar with me, I created another channel. I've actually have had several, but the channel I'm on now is the oldest one. It is
Mm.
the most actively used. It is the one that most people know me by. But there was another channel that I created that was a discussion channel, where I had several content creators, and they would all make videos. And every day of the week was a new person making videos, and it was basically a long form conversation. It was pretty cool, and I named it the Breakfast Club because
Yes, you
that's how
did.
much of a Gen Xer I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're still waiting to hear back from Molly
I
Ringwald?
Me too,
I
Steven.
mm,
Me too.
I don't think it's
Why
probably
didn't
not.
she write back?
Probably not. She was the one that actually made me realize how a lot of the John Hughes movies were like not so cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she had talked about the Breakfast Club, and I was like, oh shit, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So the Disco Crisis. Yeah, I did. I mean, the '70s disco crisis was so bad, it even affected Kiss.
When the Rolling Stones put out a disco record, everybody was like, "Okay, that's enough.
That's enough.
We don't just stop."
Yeah, that's right. Porky's used to be beloved. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because boys will be boys. It was
Yeah.
dire. Mm. I was made for loving you, baby.
Tommy,
Yes,
I do not.
wait, no, because Ace Frehley just recently passed.
Please. That's true. Yes.
Rest in peace, Ace.
Rest in peace.
Ace. So many of Kiss's songs, so so many, no, so many of Kiss's songs were about dicks going into women.
Yes, I believe that is accurate. Yes.
I mean, and like not in a romantic way, not even in a pornographic way, kind of in a cartoonish way. I
Just
mean,
that's what was happening. Yeah.
Love Gun. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. What's that
Great
about? It's not.
Expectations. Oh my God, I love the song Great Expectations. Music, I mean, I think it's a great song. It's lyrically fucking awful. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
you watch me playing my drum, and you know what my hands can do. That you think you're doing something. Five good Kiss songs. Great Expectations. Beth, because they had to play brass instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beth is the
Um,
sensitive ballad, you know. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, I want to rock and roll all night.
There you
Detroit Rock
go.
City.
There you go.
And I know there's a fifth one. Um,
They were a band for like 50 years. There's a fifth one.
it's got to be a fifth one. I liked Kiss. Lick It Up. Yeah. Strutter. Strutter is a song about a prostitute.
There you go.
So yeah, like not in a romantic way, not in a pornographic way, in a cartoonish way.
That was Kiss. Absolutely.
That was Kiss.
Absolutely.
Completely hilariously inappropriate.
Yeah.
Certainly not Lick It Up.
Certainly not. Oh, I don't think
Oh,
so.
God. I don't think so.
Oh, no.
No, this is not proper.
I don't think so. Tommy asked if I have any of the original Mego Star Trek figures. I do not. The army of Star Trek figures you see behind me, where in the back of the room there, those are all from the 90s. Those aren't the Migos would have been from the 70s. I don't have any of those. Those are all from the 90s. And those are all purchased within the last 5 or 6 years because I used to make photo comics. And I would use those to make photo comics. And I haven't had time to make any of those for a long time, but I've still got my dolls back there ready and waiting if I ever have time to make them again.
What?
Just because we have cocks doesn't mean we have the right to act like monsters. I've hated how that is the standard assumption.
About me and people like me.
Yeah.
Cockhavers.
Cockhaver, it's about time that all of us cockhavers, regardless of how we identify, just, straightened up or straightened out.
I mean,
whatever.
I completely understand, and that's why I don't have one anymore.
you got off that ride. You were like, no,
I got off that ride.
it's not my part of this anymore.
Yeah, right. I just why not? Fritz the cat. Yeah, oh boy. I don't know. Fritz the cat. I was familiar
Yeah.
with.
I mean, I feel like if I had paid to see Fritz the Cat at a movie theater, I would have been a little upset about that. Not
Yeah,
not
probably.
because of the adult content, but just because of the quality. It's just not very good.
So there was a little movie. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It was just a little old thing called Heavy Metal.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah. I've heard of that.
It's such a I remember as a kid watching Heavy Metal on HBO and
Yeah.
just being like mid damaged me perhaps. I have a hangnail. It hurts.
No. A little bit earlier, Geek said Roxanne by the Police was about a sex worker too.
I
Are you
saw
sure? Are you sure though?
She didn't have to put on the red light.
I mean, maybe, but it's
It's
really subtle.
implied. It is
Yeah.
implied that she did put on the red
You
light.
have to you have to read it very closely to get that she's a sex worker. Yeah.
Sure, all animated Lord. There are animated Lord of the Rings movies?
You didn't know this?
What?
Yeah. Well, the
I
first
didn't.
Ralph Bakshi directed the first one, and then they made two more that I don't think Bakshi was involved with. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
I did not know that. I did
yeah.
know
In
that
the
there's like two
yeah,
Led Zeppelin songs that are based on Lord of the Rings, right?
only two. I figured there'd be more than that.
Oh, there might be, but yeah.
There probably are. I don't know. Or maybe Rush took that over and they said, we'll do the Lord of the Rings songs from now on.
Fun fact, canonically, Roxanne did in fact need to put out the red light. Uh, heavy
Those
metal.
days are over.
That is true. That is true. Those days have passed. It is now an ad online.
That's right. The red light is no longer, strictly speaking, necessary.
Oh man, that would be a great website to have. The red light.
The red light. Once stung, twice shy. Yeah, I mean, I am a fan of Sting. I'm a fan of both Stings, the singer and the wrestler. But I'm a fan of Sting. I'm a white guy of a certain age, so I feel like I have to be a fan of Sting. And but I love that fucking Dana Carvey bit that he did back in the day where he was like trying imagine the reaction of the other members of the police the first day that Gordon Sumner walks in and says, "From now on, I'd like you to call me Sting."
Thing.
It's like, well, how do you introduce that to the guys?
Probably not how it went down though. They're
No,
probably getting high, and he said, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if,
exactly.
would it be funny if my name was Sting
What
or
if I called
Star?"
myself Sting? You think they'd go for it?
Dude, wow.
There's actually one of my favorite pictures is there's a photograph of Sting the singer and Sting the wrestler. And Sting the wrestler is like giving Sting the singer this big hug, and he's got a huge smile on his face and he's just like thrilled, and Sting the singer is just standing there just sort of being polite. And it's so funny because one of them is so much more excited than the other one.
Steven, I don't know you. I like you though.
Oh, Steven's cool. Steven's one of mine.
The edge is not particularly.
The Edge is not particular, really. Yeah. What's your name? I'm the Edge. Oh, cool. What are you, like a musician? Yeah, I'm in a band. Oh, what band are you in? U2. Oh, okay. Okay, the Edge.
And another fun fact: Bono's an asshole.
He is.
He's
He
just
is.
an asshole. It's just like, come on,
But
you
you know,
important prick.
that's the thing. It's like, look, I'm for pretty much all the things you're for, but just let's relax.
What is it with the weird fucking names? I mean, yeah, okay, fine. I'm Dev Shell, whatever.
Oh no.
But I mean, the weird fucking the situation. What the fuck is your situation? What the fuck?
The Weekend, and it's like just a
The
guy.
weekend.
What-
So what? Monday to Friday? You just
Yeah.
sleep?
What do you
I don't understand.
do?
Now that I want to use the kitchen has become. Ooh, wow.
No.
So sorry. That's our fault.
God damn it.
Oh man. So this is why I like. Check this out. The other two were, yeah, Heat Miser and Frosty Snow.
Oh, the other two. Oh, yeah. A geek said it later, further on. Rankin
Yeah.
Bass. Yeah.
Those Christmas shows, they were awful.
They are, but I mean, the ones. I think I made a video about this several years ago, but like the
Really?
non Rudolph ones, like
You're
the
like
ones
the Simpsons of YouTube. I want to
because
make a
I'm not
video
as good as I was 10
I
years
wa-
ago.
I want to make a
No,
video about Frosty. Oh, Steve Shives did it.
yeah. No, I don't think I've ever done Frosty, but I did one about like I think it was I know I think it was specifically about Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Because there's something about that one that I just found fascinating. And the fact that like people kind of, especially people my age, like, and you probably remember it too, but like they remember that it's like a thing that exists, but it never like they still show Rudolph on TV like every year.
Right.
And Rudolph
Yeah,
Shiny
it's
New
a
Year doesn't get
New
the
Year.
same
No,
play,
yeah.
you
It
know,
didn't
so
really, it didn't speak to anything or anyone. It just didn't catch on.
yeah,
People are too busy getting drunk that night.
Well, and also, I mean, I think they figured out we can just show Rudolph again. Like we don't need to make a new one of these every year. We can just show Rudolph again and people are going to be fine with it. You know?
So what's funny is what made me over the past several years think of, Baby New Year, is our son, Damon,
Mhm.
the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
He especially when he was younger, he looked like Baby New Year, the ears
Ah,
and everything.
the big ears. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the slightly weird teeth and the whole thing. I mean, it was just like, oh, look, it looks like
Yeah.
Baby New Year. And
Baby New
Peach was
Year.
just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, it looks like Baby New Year.
Like what insanity is coming out of your mouth? What the hell are you talking about? I'm not making it up. It's a thing. It was on TV.
She was like,
By the way, Steven says you don't want to look up doing Frosty. Maybe
oh
not,
shit, here I go.
but now it's going to happen. But you do
Fucking
want to
rabbit
look up
hole.
on Netflix. On Netflix you do want to look up Hot Frosty. I highly recommend Hot Frosty to anyone for any reason. Hot Frosty is a
Okay.
movie I recommend.
Maybe it's just because of like my search history and stuff. Here's what came up for me. Doing Frosty can mean making a Wendy's Frosty at home.
Oh,
Homemade Wendy's Frosty, Wendy's chocolate Frosty, homemade Wendy's chocolate. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of stuff you're searching for.
I'm going to
But
look it up on Urban Dictionary. I'm going to find the gross definition of this if it kills me. Doing Frosty.
there's got to be one.
Urban
It's got to be out
Dictionary.
there. Mm.
I mean, it doesn't really there's Frosty as in like stay frosty, like stay ready.
I thought that meant like
Oh, here it is. Okay. A form of fellatio with a mouthful of ice. Okay.
that makes sense.
Not really my
That
thing,
makes
but
sense.
okay. Not really, not really where my proclivities lie, but sure, okay, if that's what people like.
That just seems like a really inconvenient way to get brain freeze. There are better ways to get brain freeze. Slushy, which I'm sure is probably on
Yeah.
Urban Dictionary too.
I'm sure that's something, yeah.
Just eating ice cream really, really fast.
Yeah, just do it the old-fashioned way.
The getting the brain freeze, you mean?
Yes. Yeah, the brain freeze. Or the other thing. I mean, hey, consenting adults, do what you want.
You sadly already know what a rusty trombone is. Oh no. And this is why I love the chat. I was in here one night. I started streaming. Joe was supposed to come in, and I think he had forgotten. He might have forgotten tonight too. I hope not. But I was streaming, and nobody I invited was able to make it in for whatever reason. Everybody has some excuse, and I was just going on and on and on, and trying to fill the time and fill the silence. And there was like one person in the chat, and they were saying nothing that was interesting or I was able to play off of. And I was like, dude, you got to say something that I can work with.
Yeah, give me something.
Work with me, man.
It's like the in Glengarry Glen Ross. The leads are weak. Nobody can close with these shitty leads.
So, I mean, I am not Matt Rife. I'm just not
Yeah.
going to be able to just take something and run with it.
I can't do crowd work with one person
Yeah, right. Did you
who's
ever
not
watch
giving me
him?
anything to work with.
I mean, the dude says a lot of things that are like really like, oh yikes, but at
Oh
the same
God,
time,
yeah.
he's brilliant. I'm just like, he is mesmerizing to watch because it doesn't matter what you say, he's got something,
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit, you're good. Steve Hofstetter.
Oh, he's great. Well, yeah, he's one of the guys that first started posting like crowd work videos that kind of made it
I
popular.
love
Yeah.
when people troll him because he stops
Yeah.
the show. He's like, oh wait, this is a shiny thing that's got my attention now.
Yeah.
The fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
Well,
Did you ever hear the Patton Oswalt one where he was building up to like a punchline in a bit and somebody in the crowd just yells something random? Just like "Ah!" just like yelled something. And Patton was like, "You fucking douchebag." Because like
Oh, I'll have to look it up. I don't
because
know
he
if I've
was
seen
like
that one.
because it was like a quiet thing. He was like doing a thing on stage where he was being quiet and he was kind of working up to something and it was still
Right.
and sort of
You get
building.
the audience into your
Yeah.
yeah,
And some dude in the audience was just like,
breaks the
"Ah,
spell.
Patton!" And he was like, "You fucking douchebag." And I think he said something like, "This is being recorded for an album and the CD is not biodegradable. So future generations will dig up this album and they will listen to it and they will know when humanity no longer exists on this planet that you were a douchebag."
That's
So, yeah.
90-minute long rape scene. I'm sorry, grape scene.
That's too
I'm
long.
sorry. You know what?
That's too long.
YouTube. I'm talking. Yeah. Hey, what's up, girl?
Yeah.
Fuck
Hey,
you.
baby.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
You. Fuck you. It is an essay. It's
Yeah.
sexual assault or abuse. It isn't grapes. It's rape. It isn't unalive. The fuck does that even mean? Is it like the undead? No, it's not. It's dead or
Yeah.
suicide or killed. This show will no longer be seen in most of the country now.
You said words.
You said words. It's like, oh my God. There are things that I get, but like if you can't say suicide, then how do you talk
Yeah.
about suicide?
Well, I mean, the problem is that they try to automate so much of it. And like they have if you say certain words, it doesn't matter what context, like it will trigger some automatic flagging system and they'll be like, oh, can't say that. I did a video a couple years ago where I made just a reference to the fact that somebody else had killed themselves. Like just a factual reference that this happened, right?
Mhm.
And I got like a message from YouTube that was like, "Are you okay? Are you considering suicide?" And I'm like,
This is stupid.
like no.
It is so,
If
it
a
really is.
human being had ever watched the video,
Oh
they
my
would
God.
know that that was not a concern at all.
Oh, it is so ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Every time I'm watching a video where people start going, oh, wow, did you hear about this person SA'd? singularly
it's like
activated.
exactly. Like we're just say it. It's just us. Just say
It really
Like,
it's so ridiculous, and because they want to protect the people who probably need to hear it, though.
well,
Depending on what the
yeah.
message is, of course. But I mean, but how would they know if it's flagged or edited or
Yeah.
spoken in some silly language? You can't be real with people if you can't speak real.
Yeah.
I,
No,
I
I
don't.
agree. I mean, it all goes back to they don't want to they want to make everything automatic. They want to make everything automated. They want to come up with some kind of fucking, AI filter that will just do it for them and they won't have to pay anybody to actually go
Everything
through and
is
say, yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's a minefield. Everything is
Yeah.
about protecting corporate interests, rather than having any real message or having anything real, anything of value. Like I said, I play with AI a lot, and I talk to the AI like it's a person, or I
Mhm.
type to it, or I can actually talk to it too, but like it's a person, and I do that on purpose. I push the limits of it. I push the edges. I try to twist the AI to do things it's not supposed to do. Um, I have a lot of fun with it, and I tried to make it create a picture of the people forever, as long as like school existed, right? There have been kids
Yeah.
that doodle, and there's a thing that all kids doodle, and it's like a heart with dragon wings
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
horns and a halo, right? The
Yeah.
whole like idea of like good and evil mixed into one thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I drew that as a kid. Most people draw it as a kid. I asked AI, "Can you draw this?" Yeah, I drew it. And it was pretty similar to what most of us would have drawn. And I said, "Okay, can in the lobes of the heart, can you make that breast?" No.
I can't do that.
Why? "Oh, because nudity isn't allowed. So if I ask you to render an image of the statue of David, could you do that?" Yes, but nudity is not allowed. But that's classical art. Well, I'm creating art. Yes, but it's different when you create art. Why? Because it's not classical art. So only classical art matters as art. And then the A is like, "That's not what I said." It's like, well, basically it is what you said. So I end up getting to these back and forth where I'm twisting it. And eventually the AI will come back with something like, I could do the image with implied breasts. Let me see that.
Okay, imply some titties onto that thing. Go ahead.
So it implied, so basically it was titties without nipples.
Tasteful. Yeah, okay, sure.
So it's like, oh, so the issue wasn't breasts or nudity. The issue is nipples.
The secondary sex characteristics.
And yeah, and the AI is like, exactly. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean,
That's stupid. I mean, and
there's
Peach is just like, but you can go into New York and you can like walk around topless, but they really want you to have your nipples covered. So well,
right.
that's true,
Yeah.
but it's still stupid.
Yeah. Well, there's this like I mean, a lot of tech companies run into this problem, and the AI, among the myriad of other problems that AI companies are dealing with, most of which are of their own making. It's this idea of they wanted to sell AI to people as, oh, it's your imagination brought to life. You can
Right.
do anything. All you have to do, if you can type a prompt, you can do anything you want. But they also want investors and advertisers. So not everything, not anything.
Right. Right.
There's going to be,
Right.
and honestly, like some of that is fine and some of that is reasonable. But
Agreed.
but it's like, that you can't say rape. You have to say,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
like
You
in
have to say
any
grapefruit.
context. Yeah, like even if you want to have a serious discussion about an important issue and you're not making a joke and you're not making light of it and you're not saying anything offensive, you still aren't allowed to say it, or at least you're allowed to say it, but then YouTube won't allow you to monetize anything, or it won't recommend your video. And it's like, okay, so, you're kind of infantilizing everybody.
Everybody kind of
You
sucks
know,
the soul out of
yeah,
content. And
yeah,
actually it turns art into just content. And I think that's kind of that's a shame.
yeah. It is. It is. And I mean, hopefully it's not, we're sort of, we're on a curve and, eventually we'll get to a better place. I mean, things have ebbed and flowed just within the last few years. Like there was a time when things got a little better for a
Mhm.
while and then they got worse again. And, we're kind of in that. Yeah. It's
I like
forcing you to
this.
be non-serious. Yes. That's a great way to put it. It's forcing
Yeah.
you to be non-serious about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, how do you have a serious discussion about suicide if you can't say it? So it's just like,
Yeah.
young person, are you thinking about unaliving yourself? As in making yourself to no longer be here for breakfast tomorrow? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, you
Yeah.
know,
It's like, okay. Well, because I mean, look, it's not called the National Unaliving Yourself Hotline. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a name for it.
could you
We have a name
imagine?
for
Oh
it.
my God. My God. That's just terrible. Grapefruit happens at least once every hour in the United States.
What a sobering statistic. Did you hear that? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And
It's
I don't
ridiculous.
even like grapefruit.
That's my least favorite citrus. So I guess it's appropriate that they used it, as the euphemism for that. But I mean, I actually don't mind a good. I like a grapefruit. I'm speaking literally of the fruit now. I'm speaking literally of the fruit now.
I know, I never did like
I
it. It's
enjoy
just
I
too
enjoy I enjoy a good grapefruit
just
every once in a while. It's not my favorite. Every once in a while. The National Sewer Slide. There you go. But see, other than the sewer part, that sounds
oh
like
my
fun. Who
God.
doesn't like a good slide?
I mean, is that like about raunchy gay sex? I mean, what
Is that a yeah? What's a
are
let
we
me Urban
talking about?
Dictionary that? What's a holy shit? Do you know what a sewer slide is? Oh my god, do people actually do this?
Never on a Thursday night.
Never on a Thursday night, and rarely on a first date. I mean, you have to really like the person.
I unspeakably terrible urges in the produce
Well, there's, I
Me
mean, look,
too. Me
if they
too.
if they didn't want you to have those thoughts, they wouldn't call them melons, would they?
There's melons.
They're
There's
teasing
peaches.
you.
There's bananas.
Peaches.
I mean, come on.
What are you gonna even look? I mean,
We're just
what
human.
what are you supposed to think when you see a banana? What are you supposed to think? Why does it look like that? I'm just saying.
I mean, no, that shit like Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right. There was a lot of those. That is true. So there was a YouTuber I'm not going to name, only because she turned out to be an absolute horrid person. But she had a severe fear of bananas.
Oh,
She had an unreasonable banana phobia. It was just I thought it was hilarious, and maybe that's wrong of me. But
well, I mean,
what's a fucking banana?
yeah, it's like okay, you're terrified of bananas. I'm sorry for you,
Here's the thing.
but I
Then
mean,
walk away. I mean, it's not gonna
yeah,
come after you. It's a
they're
banana.
easily avoided. They're easily avoided.
You're walking down the street,
I don't have a single banana in my house, and it wasn't difficult.
right? Right? You're
They're not
walking
hard
down
to
the
keep
street,
out.
you go around the corner, and there's like a banana waiting for you or something, and you scream, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how does that manifest? I mean,
Yeah. How do you see like a fruit basket and you jump? You're like, oh Jesus, there's one right there.
oh look, I love grapes. I love grapes. Oh no, a banana. Get this horrid basket away from me.
I mean, is it just bananas or is it all like long, like cylindrical fruits and veg? Like
I don't know.
bananas have appeal. That's nice. That's nice work there. I love a good pun. That's just some nice work.
It was punny.
It was very punny. Yeah, and Geek reminds us of Ray Comfort, of course, the banana man,
Oh yeah, Ray
who didn't
Comfort.
who didn't know that bananas look like that because of selective breeding and not because God made them like that. It's the product of agriculture, which is a
And
human
look,
thing.
look, it's got a tab. It's got a tab to make it easily open, and it's shaped
It-
just perfectly for the human hand.
yeah, because we made it that way, Ray. You fuck.
It's like, oh
You know,
my
and you know
God.
my favorite part of that about because he's like, it's the tab to pull it open. In like apes who eat bananas don't do that. Like the
No,
the wild animals, they hold it by the little tab and they open it from the other end. So
right.
like
It's actually when you
we
open it
we're
from
doing
the
it.
other end, you
Yeah,
have fewer strings stuck to
yeah.
the banana.
So we're doing it
We do it
wrong.
the wrong way.
We're doing it wrong. But yeah, but Ray's like, no, it's a little tab and you pull it open.
So in our defense, there's a logic. where it's got that tab, and you think, oh, it's like a soda can.
Sure, exactly. We'll just rip it open up here. I'm not going to need this. Checkmate, atheists. Oh boy,
I
we
do not miss the checkmate atheist.
haven't we lost this chess game by now? We keep getting checkmated. God,
This is true.
yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there even any such? I'm sure there is, but I mean, rhetorically speaking, is there any such thing as a wild apple anymore? Like it's all agriculture. It's all, crossbred and
Do you know what's
designed. I mean,
wild? Actually, if you take apple seeds from most store-bought apples, right, and you freeze them and you do the whole process of being able to
mhm,
grow 'em, the first year that they get fruit, you'll have the same apple as what you bought at the store.
right.
The following year, when they get fruit again, it'll be a completely different apple. It'll be more like a very generic, almost like a wild apple,
Wow.
like a crab apple, kind of.
Yeah.
Um, you only get from store-bought apples, you only
Mhm.
get that
I
after
didn't
the
know that.
second year.
That's interesting.
I've actually tried to grow apple trees,
Mhm.
and so doing all the research and everything, I found that out about apples. Um, and then I decided apple trees are a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
So I stopped trying to grow them from seeds because it takes forever. Like it takes like a year just to get the seed ready to
Yeah.
grow because it has to go through like 6 months of a deep freeze. Fuck that shit. Nobody's got time for that. So I
Yeah.
bought trees and I still don't have fruit. So fuck 'em.
I had a similar experience. I mused briefly about planting like a pine tree in my backyard. Because I used to have the house where I live now, it used to be my grandparents' house. And there used to be a few trees in the backyard, but now like they've long since died and we had to have them removed. So the backyard is kind of open now. And I thought maybe I'll plant like a nice pine tree somewhere. And I was looking up like, oh, can you just plant a pine tree from like seeds from a pine cone? And they were like, yes, you can, but here are the 100 steps you have to go through before you can get a tree. And I'm like, I was tired just reading it. I was like, nah, forget it. Never mind.
This is the reason why apples are
Yeah.
grafting. I mean,
Yeah.
and there are apple trees that you can buy that are self-pollinating. But apparently you
Yeah.
don't get there's like no guarantee on what the fruit is actually going to be as far as like what kind of apple. And also you don't get as much fruit. Um,
Mhm. Yeah,
so the
we
best way
had
to do
apple
it is to
trees.
have two apple trees that can cross-pollinate.
Yeah.
Um, like a Macintosh and a Fuji, I'm pretty sure can cross-pollinate, and you have to have them close enough
Mhm.
where the bees are going to go from tree to tree, but
Yeah.
far enough away that they have room to grow and get sun and expand and everything. And so
Yeah.
apples are like a lot of fucking work.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No, we had apple trees in our backyard when I was growing up in my parents' house, and we just and it was that kind of deal. We had two of them right next to each other, and I don't even know what kind of apples they were, but they were good. You know, I don't remember exactly what the variety was, but they were good. But I mean, the trees never got super big. They got big enough to bear fruit, and that's about it.
so I
Um,
decided what I
you
was going
know.
to do was instead of apples, I was going to grow from seeds. I was going to grow some other fruit trees. So I had about 6 lemon trees that I was growing all at once. And I was really proud of them. And the biggest one got to be about that big. And they were doing really well. And then Kai, our youngest, killed every one of them. I had an orange tree I was growing from a seed. I had like 6 lemon trees I was growing. He killed them all. I had a banana tree. He nearly he beat the fuck out of it. He beat
I
the
mean,
fuck.
you know, as someone who isn't the biggest, I'm not the biggest fan of bananas either, so I can't really blame the kid for that. Though I feel like it's a little bit of overkill to destroy the bananas. I've never felt that urge. I just pass on it.
So the banana tree survived, but I had to give it
Oh, okay.
away in order
Yeah.
to save its life because
You had to take it somewhere. You had to rehome it.
Kai was relentless.
Yeah.
Kai was relentless. He was just like, fuck that banana tree. So yeah, but he killed all my lemon trees. He killed the orange
That's
tree. And
that's
so
too
I gave
bad.
up. I just
Yeah.
gave up trying to do that kind of a thing because yeah, when I'm not looking, he just rips them out of the pots and yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you, lemon tree, like that, and chokes it. So
You know what you did.
or you know what you're gonna do.
You're not. There won't be
Well,
lemons in this house. Not if I can fucking say anything about it.
So and yeah, I used to actually have a lot of plants. I have like 2 now, and they're up where he can't reach them because yeah, he'll just fuck them up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is true. 40% of the food that is grown
Yep.
today is not eaten. Yeah, yeah, the amount of I don't want to say produce, but crops in general, including all of like the wheats and everything else. Um, yeah, the amount of that is waste is I don't remember. A number of years ago, I made a video about it, and the U.S. is actually not the highest in food waste. There was some South American countries that were actually worse as far as the amount of food that is destroyed, but it's bad.
Yeah.
Um, it's really, really bad. And the whole reason I made the video was because I got into a back and forth with somebody who was like an extreme vegan. Um, and it was just like they talked about, the land for animals could be used for, crops and what a waste of space and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, the land that we keep most livestock on isn't really necessarily um, viable for food.
Right.
This isn't arable land. You're not going to grow crops there. But you know
Right.
what will grow there? Grass. You know what happens
Right.
with grass? Cattle
Yeah.
eat it.
Cows eat it.
And you know who eats
Exactly.
cows? I do.
People. Yeah. Exactly.
Um, the issue is when it comes like people talk about there's people starving here, there's people starving there. The issue isn't lack of food. The issue is
No.
capitalism. The issue is getting the food to the people in a way that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
That's always been the issue.
It's
Um,
insisting that everything has to be a commodity.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like so the people who need it the most can't get it.
Yeah.
Because they need it the most. That's kind of
Yeah.
it's basically the way it works.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in an isolated region of a third world country in the middle of nowhere with a country that's got like no GDP, so you have no money at all and you're starving and there's all this food, but you can't have it because you're in an isolated country with
Yeah.
no growth and no so fuck you then.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
Sam Kinison joke, right? We have deserts in America, asshole. We just don't live in them. And it's just like, but we do.
Move to where the food is. It's like
And as funny as that is,
it's not really a good solution to the problem. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't fix shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just as a I don't want to say because it's not just us, as a society. So it's not just the U.S., right? As a
Yeah.
society, we don't give a shit about other people. As individuals, we do, right? Even as small groups, But overall, we allowed the burning of food
Mhm.
that was, ready to be served to starving children, and we said, "Fuck it." Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that motherfucker's got to be tried for crimes against humanity.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, if 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 you care more about, like the price of food than feeding hungry people, because that's what it comes down to. Like, well, if we didn't, if we just gave all the uneaten or unpurchased food away, well, that would destabilize the food market and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, so
So let's just throw it away.
so you care more about the price of food than you care about feeding starving people.
Yeah.
Like I figure we could probably figure something out. Like if we you know
Well, I mean,
instituted
the USAID, right, destroying all that food just recently. They destroyed all that food, and it was already in the location. It was in the
yeah,
country, where it was going. It was there.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All we had to do was just hand it out.
Just yeah,
It was paid for. It was where it should, and we burned it instead. I mean,
yeah,
since the funding was already paid for it, I don't care where the funding came from, right? But the funding was already paid, which
yeah.
means legally it wasn't really ours.
Right. Right.
It was theirs. So when we just burned it, we just destroyed their property, right? I mean, isn't that like theft?
I mean, not when we do it.
Yeah.
It's never bad when we do it.
Oh,
We can do whatever we want. How dare
It's-
you invade our country? No, we're doing it. It's fine.
telling people to move when the ocean levels rise into coastal
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Get
that we
alive,
show
okay.
the the genius of Ben Shapiro. Won't they just sell their houses? Sell their underwater houses. Yeah, that'll be a robust housing market. Let me sell my house that I have to move out of because of global warming raising the ocean. You fuck.
People have said, "Oh yeah, oh global warming, it's a scam, it's a scam." Ask Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a thing called sunny day flooding.
Well, I mean, just fucking go outside, Just go outside. I live in Maryland. Yesterday, it's the first week, about to be the second week of November. Yesterday, it was 75 degrees.
Wow, I'm in New Jersey. It was pretty cold here.
I mean, yeah, and well, obviously it's, today, I think today it was only in the 50s, which is
Yeah.
more normal for November, but still, like,
So
it's,
we've,
and
we've been
it's
having
not just,
unusual weather,
yeah,
and I
and
don't
it's
mean
not just
temperature wise.
isolated days. It's not just isolated days, because there have always been like isolated, you get like a freak day where it's super cold in the summer or it's super warm in the fall or the winter. It's like it's
Right.
a pattern over time,
Right.
like when I was a kid, November was when you first started expecting it to snow. And now it's not, the last several years, around here anywhere where I live, it's not unusual at all to not have snow, or at least not have significant snowfall at all until January or February.
Right.
And that never
Same
used to
here.
happen.
Same
Yeah,
here.
that
No,
never
we've been
used to happen.
having really strange weather here, where we get these microburst windstorms. I've
Mhm.
never seen anything like it. We had trees falling down almost every day because
Yeah.
all of a sudden, and it's weird. It's a beautiful day, right? 50 degrees, 55, 60, beautiful day. Right? Sun is shining, maybe a little bit of clouds, slight breeze. Then all of a sudden, you hear this rumble coming from the sky, and it
Mhm.
sounds like a freight train. And the trees just start whipping, and they start snapping. One snap the other night and landed on Peach's car. Um,
Whew.
and it's like, what the fuck is going on? The house is shaking. The trees are breaking all over the place. The dogs
Yeah.
are all over the place, are barking and freaking out. Lights are flickering, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And it's like, the fuck was that? I mean,
What was
it's
that?
like
Yeah.
I've lived in this town. It's like I can like pinpoint it to a location, right? I've lived in this town almost all my life. I've never seen anything like this before. So it's not even like well, these things happen. No, I've lived here for 50 fucking years. I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Like this is new. This is different, and it's very sudden, and it's been happening every night for the last almost week.
Yeah.
It's weird. Never seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if people who want to try to argue that there's nothing to it or that that nothing's really different, like you're kidding yourself.
You're kidding yourself, yeah.
They're kidding yourself. Yeah.
Gasoline companies selling lead gasoline for the longest time. Yeah, absolutely knowing that it was absolutely fucking awful because they don't care because all they care about
Yeah.
is the money.
They only care as much as we force them to, and that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
That's why that's why, you know, safety regulations exist, because they have to. Because if they didn't, you know, like there's no fucking private company. If it wasn't illegal, there's no private company that would, you know, do stuff that would make their product more expensive or cost them money. There's no way they would. They're not creatures of morality. They're creatures of, like, how much money how quick can we turn everybody upside down and shake all the money out of their pockets? Like that's what they care about.
That's what they care about. Later, geek.
Bye, geek. Trent, yeah, I mean, Trent says just try going outside midday in the middle of the summer. You can and will die from the heat alone. I mean, I live about a mile from a nice park. I like to go there and go for walks. But the last few years, it's like, well, unless I want to go for a walk at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which I don't, you know, during the summer, most of the time, I'm basically like, well, I guess I'm working out indoors today because I'm
So
not going for a
this
walk.
this past summer, Peach and I, we took the kids and we took an 11-day vacation and drove to Florida. We spent a
Mhm.
week in Disney. And we had a ball. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking hot.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was stupid hot. I've been to Florida, you know, a few times in my life, several times in my life, and it's always hot. But this summer it was stupid hot.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, we sucked up and we had a good time because it cost a lot of money. Um,
Sure.
but you know, we came home and it was stupid hot here in New Jersey, which isn't like summers in Florida and New Jersey, and I'm sure Maryland is pretty similar.
Mhm.
They're similar in temperature. Um,
Sure.
the humidity is different.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but you know, we don't get the daily rainstorms in New Jersey that Florida gets every day. It rains, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of amazing. Where you know, you get 10 minutes of absolute shit weather in the middle of a beautiful day, um, just to remind you that you're human. You know, that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
just like the weather in Florida. The weather tells you you ain't the boss.
Yeah. Fuck you. What are you doing down here anyway? You're not supposed. People aren't supposed to live here. This
Live
is
here?
supposed to be this was supposed to be a swamp. What are you doing here?
Did you know that?
You're not
for-
supposed
I
to
mean,
be here.
the whole point that people go to Florida to live and retire and for vacation and everything else is because of a fucking advertising campaign
Yeah.
to force people to go to the fucking swamp.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, like look up like the history of Florida. I mean, and
Oh my God.
it's only like within the last 120 years too. I mean, it's relatively recent
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, like most of Florida is naturally a swamp. People aren't supposed to live there, but it's been reclaimed, quote unquote, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, to sell people
forcing
real estate.
Florida to be actual land. Like they're
Yeah.
forcing Florida to be a state. Like just being part of the country. The country was just like
Florida.
Whatever.
We'll take it.
It's whatever.
We can use the northern part of it a little bit.
You know, I mean, that's actually true. Look up the history. It's really true.
Fort Lauderdale, it's fine, I guess.
I read the history of Florida, and it's just like, what's worse? It's full of Floridians.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Oh,
worst part,
no.
Stephen. That's the worst part. It's full of Floridians.
Yeah. Disney got most of that land really cheap because who wanted it?
Yeah.
Well, Disney did. It was a really smart buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, read the history of Florida. If you don't know a lot about this, read it. It's absolutely fascinating.
It
The
is.
whole early on, it was just like, let's just leave that to the savages who lived there, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's alligators.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there were I mean there were some indigenous people that lived there, but they were like, "We're good. We got this. You don't need to
Yeah.
bother us." And then, eventually the white people were like, "No, we're taking this. Get out. We're taking this.
I take it.
And we're going
For
we're
a
going to get
long
rid of the
time,
swamp."
for a long time, it just wasn't wanted. It was
Yeah.
just, useless, worthless land full of savages and alligators.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Go
that's the way they
figure.
liked it. And then when he came down and fucked it all up and filled it with Floridians.
Most
there's
of them
not
come from
even
New Jersey.
And there's not even a Fountain of Youth, which is the shitty part. Like that was where the Fountain of Youth was supposed to
Was
be,
supposed
and we
to be.
looked around for that, and they were like, "No, it's not here."
Is
Well,
that why
shit.
all the old people go there?
I guess
Right? They're like, fuck it, I'm gonna find it.
it's got to be down here somewhere.
If I didn't have this arthritis, I'd be out looking.
I would have found it by now if it weren't for my goddamn kids always coming down.
If it wasn't for the gout.
If it wasn't for the gout.
Yes, I know. I love this, actually. I do love this.
Yeah.
Because the Florida man shit happens in every state.
It
It's
does.
just that every
Yeah,
state
it does.
doesn't tell everybody about it.
Almost everybody, no matter where they live, has stories about people from their area
Yep.
doing just the most insane
They
shit.
they just don't put it in the paper.
Yeah. They don't lead with it. They're
That's
not
the
like-
real Florida man
Let me-
of that whole situation.
Yeah.
Florida man prints stupid shit they shouldn't be
Yeah.
printing.
They're like, let's tell everybody about the guy who got killed by a stingray jumping out of the water and cracking him in the head. Let's tell everybody about that.
Tell everybody about the woman who
Oh.
sleeps in a dumpster and call the police so they can come take her to buy booze because she didn't want to drive drunk. Which was a real story, by the way.
That's
They
that's
arrested
kind of
her. They arrested her. I'm like, why? She was being responsible.
that's kind of ingenious. Yeah. Like what, that's using your head. I wouldn't be that clever if I was drunk and laying in a dumpster. I wouldn't be thinking that far. Oh, I don't want to drive drunk. Let me call the cops and see if they can pick me up some booze. I wouldn't think of that.
That is pretty smart. She wanted cigarettes too.
Well, of course.
Yeah, if you're gonna ask, you might as
I mean,
well.
what's the
go
point? You're living in a dumpster. What's the point? What are you're like, oh, well, I need to look after my health.
for-
I shouldn't smoke. I need to take care of myself. My body is a
Yeah,
temple.
I shouldn't smoke, but I'll take the absolute
I should exactly.
medicinal purposes.
I don't smoke. That'll kill you, but give me all the liquor you got.
And a pizza.
And a pizza, please. Yeah, you gotta have something to soak it up. You don't want to get that drunk,
Awful. Awful. Do you ever puke pizza? It's not good.
Oh man, one time. So I am not a big drinker, and I don't keep alcohol in the house. I've never been a big drinker, but I have had intervals in my life. And there was one time when I was over, this was back when I was married, and we had spent the night at some friend's house, and we stayed up late drinking the night before, and we woke up, and I was still like kind of halfway between drunk and hungover, like I was kind of in that middle zone, but I was good enough to drive, or so I thought. And so we went out to the car and got in, and I was about to pull out, and then I thought, oh shit, here it comes. So I opened the door and I puked right on the road, like right in front of my friend's house. And then I looked, and there was his neighbors were coming out in the morning to go to church. And then as they were coming out to get into their car, dressed in their fucking Sunday best, their kids had they were going to church, and they see this drunk asshole in front of their neighbor's house, leaning out of his car, puking his guts out on Sunday morning.
He likes to curse.
It's one of my favorite memories. They're probably
No,
Trump
I
voters,
was, I
fuck 'em.
was,
But yeah.
I was in a local trailer park with a friend, at some stranger's trailer. And we were drinking all night because the kid of the people who owned the place was home, but the parents were away. They were
Okay.
somewhere, right? They were coming home late that night. And we were drinking Jack Daniels. And the kid that lived there was a friend of my friend's, but it wasn't somebody I knew. But turned out we had both dated the same girl, and she dumped us both.
Oh,
And so we were commiserating with Jack Daniels,
sure.
and we both got so drunk. And I'm sitting at his kitchen table smoking, and his parents walk in, and I'm plastered, and I'm like, and I puked in the ashtray.
Oh,
And it was one of those little plastic ashtrays, so it wasn't big enough. And the
no.
mother's like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "Hi."
Hi.
Yeah, that was
Oh
that was
man.
wild.
So you just reminded me. I thought of this. What was I thinking about? Oh, I was writing something for an upcoming video, and I referenced this. When I was a little kid, maybe not that little, maybe 9, 10, my dad used to drink a lot, and he would go out with his friends and he would get drunk, and then he would come back home like in the middle of the night. And he had this one particular friend that he hung out with, and they're still really good friends to this day. But they came home, and it was the middle of the night, and I think I was either asleep or almost asleep, and I heard the garage door opened, and my dad and his buddy come in, and his buddy passes out like immediately, like as soon as they walk through they're not in the house yet, they're in the garage. But as soon as they're in the garage, his buddy passes out and he fucking face plants like on the garage floor. And he hit the floor, the bare concrete garage floor so hard, the smack was so loud that it woke me up in my bed. I was like, and I just heard smack. And that was his body hitting the ground. And then there's silence for like 3 seconds. And then I hear my drunk father go, "Get up, you son of a bitch."
Oh
And
no!
I'm thinking, that's probably not gonna help. Get up, you son of a bitch.
Daddy's dead.
Dad, I don't think he's gonna get up, man. Ah,
Oh,
God
no.
damn it. Yeah.
Yes,
He's fine. He's
Trent,
fine.
go edit. Do what you got to do. Do what you
Yeah,
got to do. Thank you for coming in. I
yeah.
hope Joe shows up. I don't think Joe is gonna show up.
No. No, I think I'm probably gonna head out soon too.
Yeah. So I got a
but
feeling
yeah.
Joe, because he said KK. I don't know. So I think
Well, hope
maybe
everything's okay.
he might have gotten. Yeah, I think he might have gotten involved in something else, or maybe forgot. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm easy to forget, so I understand.
Aw. Aw.
So yeah, whatever. And Agent of Doubt will probably be popping in at some point too, I guess. That would be cool. I gave the link to a few people. Brian J. I was hoping would stop in, but he said he probably wouldn't. He has to be up early, and since he lives in the UK, it's like, yeah, I get that.
Ah. Really early.
Yeah, he's be waking up. I'm still going to be on probably. Well, I mean, I don't have work tomorrow. It's a 4-day weekend for me.
Oh, cool.
Because yes, as I work, I work in a school. And this week was testing and conferences, and I think
Oh,
it's 2 days of like teacher in service or something. I don't know.
okay.
So that's always cool, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, it's 4 days and I still get paid the same. That's cool.
That's great. That's great.
All right, good night, Trent. And yeah, what are you thinking you're gonna go?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna head out and like pretty soon. Because
Okay.
I don't like I technically I don't have to get up early, but I do. So
You don't have to, but you do have to, or you don't have to,
I
but
don't
you will
I
anyway.
don't have to. I mean, I work for myself. My YouTube channel is my job. I don't have to, but I have like a
Really?
morning routine
Do you
that
make
I,
enough off of YouTube to live?
I do. I do.
Oh, look at you.
As ridiculous as that sounds, yes. I'm like,
I ain't giving you
sometimes I'm
any
like, do I
shout out.
really?
Oh, well, thank you, Trent.
Good for you, Trent.
Way back in the day when Steve had a small channel, we used to pick on each other a lot.
We did.
And now he's too cool, so I don't pick on him. Actually, Steve subscribed to me a long time ago because he liked the way I swore at people.
I could sense a kindred spirit.
Yeah. Steve has mellowed with his fame. I
It
never
is, yeah.
achieved any, so
So you're still pretty much, yeah.
still
I
pretty
mean,
raw. Actually, I've mellowed with the estrogen. Actually, honestly, it's
the transition took some of the fight out of you.
yeah. I gotta tell you, the
Well,
boy be gone pills. They really make the boy be gone. I mean, I am a lot calmer and
yeah,
um happier in general. I'm not as quick to anger.
that's good.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it takes the fun out of a lot of stuff. YouTube was a lot more fun for me when I was angry. Um, now people piss me off, and I go, you know what?
Eh,
You. Instead of a 20-minute rant about why their mother sucks
yeah,
dicks in parking lots. So
you're a lot more efficient with it now. You know what? Fuck you.
I'd be like, oh yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, yeah.
I don't need to go into detail anymore. I can just say it.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
your mother was a snowblower. I was actually really good. I had a pretty sharp tongue back in the day. I could
Yeah.
pretty effectively cut people down to size. I don't care anymore. It's like people are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you suck. I don't like you. Okay.
Yeah. See, I mean, I've been there for a long time. I think that's one of the things I never quite identified as closely with our general community back then. I mean, obviously I had a lot of really good friends. And actually most of my really close friends that I have today that I know like online are like, people who were doing the YouTube thing, 10 or 15 years ago, like we
That's
were, and
great debate
that I'm
community.
still in
Mhm.
contact with. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was never one of the arguers. Like I did that a little bit. I tried to do that every once in a while, but I was always someone who was like, oh, what's the fucking point? Like, why am I going to stand here and argue? I'm going to
You
sit here and
like
argue with this idiot. Like, fuck, life's too short, you know?
you kind of hit or made it to like a milestone or a touchstone, I think, before a lot of other people did. There was a smoothing out of the language. There was
Yeah.
a point where people started to realize that being correct on one issue doesn't make you special.
Yes.
It doesn't make you particularly brilliant or smart, and it doesn't give you the right to be a complete douchebag. And I think you kind of made it there before a lot of us, and I think that made you a target.
Oh, I think it definitely did. I think, well, yeah, I think there was, people who were mostly in our group, and then there were people in various other groups that people in our group like to fight with. And I think some of them had the idea that like it was supposed to be this mutual thing.
Right.
And if they attack you and you didn't hit them back, you weren't playing along. And that only
Right.
made them angrier at you.
Right.
And I think some of the shit that I caught was because of that. Not all of it. Some
Some
of it
of
was
it.
just flat out asshole
Some of it.
harassment
I think
stuff, but
some of
some
it
of it
was
was
like
like,
the smoothing out of some of the language.
yeah,
Um, it's just like, hey, I get what you're saying, but it really isn't cool to go online and tell somebody that their mother is sucking dicks in a parking lot. Um, Because number
Can
one,
you find a more productive way to express that?
right. Number one, is there really anything wrong with sucking dick? And number two,
Hey,
if it's
yeah.
in a parking lot, she's probably employed.
Yeah, let her, I'm not judging your
Everybody's
mom for
got to
sucking
earn a
dick in the
living.
bar. Yeah, like what I want to know is why are you offended by
Yeah.
it? Why are you insulted by it?
You know, someone else who actually kind of hit that space in a different way that around the same time as you did was Sarahan.
Okay, yeah.
Sarahan, um, I don't want to say he was further to the right. Um, no, that might be a good way to describe it. I don't know. But he got to a point where it's just like people who were offended, he would start asking, why?
Yeah.
Why did it, you need to stop and ask yourself, why you're upset about these people that don't believe the same thing you do. You need to ask yourself, what is it that's bothering you about that? Because the problem may lie with you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so he stepped away from a lot of the main arguments that a lot of us were having, um, because he was, yeah, starting to say those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
vanished.
And I know, like, I can relate to that a little bit. I'm like, because I know I realized, I think relative to a lot of our peers at the time, relatively early on, that I wasn't really interested in talking people out of their religion
Right.
because I didn't think that their religion was the problem. I thought their politics was the problem. And I have said for many years, like, if you are a religious person, but that's the only thing we disagree on, we're probably good. Like if you're like a Christian, but you believe in equal rights for people and you want to try to make the world a better place and you're not using it as an excuse to mistreat people or think you're better than other people or you're not trying to force other people to believe what you believe or live by your rules, we're probably good. It's when you use it as an excuse to be an asshole or to persecute people or punish people or you know deny people things that they have a right to. That's when we run into a problem. you know
Um, Head of the curve. My God, I about this one particular person, I don't like to say that, but there was one particular YouTuber who was not one of our peers. It was
Mhm.
somebody that a lot of us clashed with, and she wasn't a religious person either. But there's a lot of things that she said in her videos that people attacked her for. That's now mainstream in a lot of
Mhm.
the rhetoric, and it was Nuclear Night.
Mhm.
Do you remember Nuclear Night?
Faintly, yes, faintly.
Communist. She was a pretty outspoken
Yeah.
communist.
Yeah.
But a lot of her viewpoints, a lot of things that she talked about that she was attacked for, the same people that attacked her now hold those ideas. And
Yeah.
it's just like, as much as she was a despicable person, she was right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it just took some of us longer to figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's interesting when you're on a platform long enough to see the curve.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. And to see who sticks around and who disappears and what
Yeah.
ideas stick around and what ideas
Um,
does and how things kind of morph and change, you know.
One of the things that I'm kind of sad about as far as things that change, the entire philosophy corner of our community disappeared. All of them.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
From DOS American Atheists to theoretical bullshit, all of them. Jasper
Yeah.
Abbey, they're all gone. They all left. The entire, you know, it's just like there's not one. So
Yeah.
what do we have? We still have atheists that are making videos that are just 45 minutes of this Christian person is a dummy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even bother watching anymore because it's just like
No.
we've already had this conversation and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
It's actually made making content harder. Um, because I can't talk about those things anymore because just so tired of it. I'm so
Yeah.
done with it.
Yeah. No, I every once in a while I'll get a comment from someone who says something like are you ever gonna do another atheist video?
Yeah.
And and my answer is always, well, if I can think of something to talk about that is interesting, but I
Yeah.
mean, what is there to say that I or someone else haven't
One of the
already said
videos
100 times?
One of the videos that I have in the production queue, um, is actually about the myth of the atheist worldview.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, the script anyway, is interesting because I've actually given, a speaking role to my Chat GPT,
Mm.
that I named Nova. It's my version of Jarvis. Um, I have a Jarvis. I love it. I love it. I have so much fun with this thing. But anyway, it's got a
Yeah.
speaking role. And for the video, his name is going to be Norm, because his character is Normie Tears. Um, and he'll be on the screen as a teardrop.
There you go.
So, like, Dark Matter has God and Jeffrey. Well, it's me and Norm.
Norm.
Yeah, Normie Tears. And I in order to make it in the video interesting, because you could go back to Richard Coughlin's video about what is an atheist.
Mhm.
And then it's basically going to be in that vein. So to keep it different and to keep it, I think worthwhile to watch is
Mhm.
I'm going to have a lot of generational stuff from Gen X kind of
Yeah.
embedded in it. So, a lot of winks and nods to just so it's bearable to watch. So it's just not another. There is no atheist worldview. Atheism is an answer to one question, you
Right.
know? Um, so there'll be like Ferris Bueller stuff in there and, you know,
Yeah.
um, that
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
stuff,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I mean, you have to, yeah, you have to do something to keep it interesting. Like, um, that's the reason why I stopped doing the series I used to do about Christian apologetics books. Um, because I think I wound up doing 25 of those. I was doing like 3 a year for, and so I think then I bumped it up. I was doing 4 a year for the last couple of years, and I ended up doing 25 different books. Just reading the books and doing, some. I think the shortest series was 8 episodes, and the longest was like over 16 or 17 episodes. And I said before I announced ahead of time. I said a year ahead of time. I said next year I'm doing like 3 or 4 more books, and these are the last ones. Um, and I said, because I want to stop doing it before I get sick of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to start. I don't want to be in the place where I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to do it. I didn't want that to happen. And fortunately, that's never happened for my YouTube channel, because the few times I've ever gotten to the point where I felt like that was in danger of happening, I've moved to something else.
So here's
You
my
know,
production cue, basically.
yeah.
There's Look Up in the Sky, um, Trans Panic, Tulpa 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 is one
Opa.
of the videos. You know what a tulpa is?
Yeah. Is that, well, yeah, that's like when you sort of create an artificial being, kind of like you
Yeah.
invest a personality into something. And yeah.
Well, there used to be a YouTuber by the name of Pink. I don't know if do you remember Pink? Pink claimed to be a thought form.
Okay.
Um,
It sounds
this
familiar.
was, yeah, this is way before a lot of the language existed that
Hmm.
we use today for trans people or for different people on different areas of the spectrum of
Yeah.
the trans spectrum.
Yeah.
Um, and this person, um, I don't know how they identify in real life. I don't know how they identify, today. It's been a long time, so I don't want to misgender anybody. I don't want to say anything that's off. All I can say is biologically, this was a male.
Okay.
who used computer um, editing software to change his voice to sound like a very high pitched female voice, but not like a natural voice. It's just a very high pitched. It was supposed to sound like a fae
Right.
voice. Um, and the thought form that this male inhabited and created, his tulpa, was named Pink and had that voice, and basically lived inside his brain, as a separate being to himself. And he was working on, or she, through him, was working on building a body that he could move her to so she could inhabit it, like a ghost in the machine.
Right.
Um, and I remember at the time thinking this is very, very strange. And today I
Yeah.
still kind of think it's strange, but I think it's less strange today. And I don't know where this person is. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how they identify. I don't know what's come of them
Right.
online or in the real world, but I think it might have been, and again, this is just speculation. I think it might have been somebody who was dealing with being transgender at a time where it was very difficult, a lot more difficult to do so than it is today.
Yeah.
Um, and where a lot of the language didn't really exist, and the support systems really weren't there.
Yeah.
I wish I knew where they were today so I could find out and talk to them
Yeah.
and be like, hey, it's okay. Come on, girl. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just interesting. So the video Topa 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 is not going to be about him or her specifically, either one of them, but just about the idea and the concept, and about how that the whole point of like the whole Topa thing came from, you know, um, the Tibetan monks, and ways of getting closer to the divine, um,
Right.
and how that grew into like the use of the concept in anime, and then later as a stand-in for trans. Um, so that's basically what the video is about. I don't think that's going to be a very popular one. It's just
Oh well.
it's
You know.
info heavy, but I'm like I still was fascinated by it, so I want to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You should.
but Topa Topa Topa. What else is in um I have, my God, what else? There's, oh yeah, the Ferris Bueller one. Um
Yeah.
and my God, I have this other thing I'm working on. Oh my God. This is a massive project. I don't have the computer um experience, the editing experience to do this. But it's basically a movie. Um I wrote I wrote this massive pamphlet. I want to call it a pamphlet. Um, it's almost like a manifesto, and it's it's in the style of Thomas Paine, and Jefferson. It's
Okay.
kind of Jeffersonian. It's sharp. Um, it's uses very abrupt language, very sharp, abrupt language, very Jefferson-like, very to the point, very,
Hmm.
you know, and still poetic. Um, that's the poetry is more Jefferson, and it's about the dissolution of the United States. And it's
Oh
called
boy.
Common Sense.
Well, that'll that kind of stings, doesn't
Um,
it?
and
Yeah.
and I mean, it's how the way that we might, as a society, as a culture, how we might best survive with our ideals of self-governance and liberty might
Mhm.
our best bet might actually be to dissolve the union and create four distinct
Mhm.
regions of confederacies of states, that are all republics that interact and trade with each other, um, and using each region's natural resources and strengths, and histories, to help guide our group of republics into the future,
Right.
carrying our ideas of self-governance forward. That we might be so fractured as a single republic that we might not be able to repair the damage that's been done. Um, it kind of lays out a common sense way of each region to be structured as far as government and currency, and how they all would interact and depend on each other for survival while
Mhm.
still being their own sovereign republics. So it's long, it is dense. I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours on it, and perfecting it. And yeah, yeah, I actually sent it to a friend of mine who's a retired FBI agent. And I was like, hey, Mike, read this. He never answered. I hope I'm not being investigated. I don't
Now
know.
you're on a list. Oh shit! It's not like that.
I don't know if he was just like, oh, she's crazy, or oh,
Looked
she
at the
crazy.
yeah, exactly. Looked at the size of it. Was like, nah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. But I mean, it's it's common sense. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it was written, obviously, all of it was written before this last election, and it was written in part thinking that the election wasn't going to go the way it did.
Mhm.
I was actually pretty worried about this election. I didn't
Yeah.
think I thought that New Jersey was going to go the way it did, but everything else I was really worried about. Um, and I really kind of had the feeling that MAGA was going to be really emboldened. And with things
Yeah.
going with the federal government the way that they're going, and with Trump threatening to dismantle fucking everything, um, I see that there's confederacies already forming. The West Coast has they've formed a um, what's the word? Like a cooperative for
Mhm.
healthcare.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the Northeast is doing the same thing. We're kind of following that kind of thing, and it's just like that's how, in my opinion, how it'll begin. Like this, all of these different states will start depending on their neighbors, those that are culturally the most similar, and start forming these cross-state um, cooperatives.
Yeah.
And if the federal government were to collapse, like I think under Trump it is likely to do, if something doesn't change quickly, the federal government were to collapse, three of the richest states in the union are currently in the Northeast.
Right.
You know, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Mhm.
Um, as far as to be financially, and culturally and educationally and administratively um, dependent, we're not on the federal government. The federal government is dependent on us,
Yeah.
um, as much as they're dependent on California. I mean, if the West Coast were to do the same thing, Washington's done.
Yeah.
There'd be no need. The only areas that would need would be the South. Um,
Yeah.
and in my view, the South would actually end up relying on fossil fuels and energy. That would become their currency. That's what the South would do. That would be how they survive.
Yeah.
And the Midwest would feed the rest of us, and that would be their currency, basically. The West Coast would be tech,
Yeah. Sure.
and then the Northeast would be business, would be the
Right.
ports, would be what the Northeast always has been.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Um,
They do kind of naturally kind of break down by
yeah, yeah, by
whatever
region, by
economic.
region,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
all just um, but yeah, yeah, it's a pretty big piece. It's
Sure.
a large pamphlet, and yeah, I broke it down into a script with, you know, I don't have the know-how to actually do it. So until I figure out how to make it become a thing, it's gonna
Yeah,
sit in my computer gathering uh cyber dust.
exactly.
Cyber cobwebs, I guess,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
until I can figure out how to do it. But
yeah. Well,
yeah, I
hopefully
mean,
one of these days.
yeah, I mean, it'll be good. I got a message from Joe. Oh, he's in pain. He said he's in
Oh
bed,
no.
lots of pain.
Oh,
Sorry, Joe.
feel
Feel
better,
better.
Joe.
He's probably not watching. I don't know. He might be. If you're
Joe ain't
watching,
watching, but if
Joe,
you're watching, feel better, Joe.
if you're and feel better if you're not watching
You
too.
feel better. Yeah, oh, yeah. If you're not
I
watching,
don't.
also feel better. It's
Seriously
not.
though,
We're not basing it on whether or not you're watching.
not this time.
Not. Yeah. Next time it's all or nothing. But you know.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah. Well, I am going to take off.
Yeah. I'm going to stay a little bit longer if anybody wants
Okay.
to stay with me. I'm kind of hoping Agent of Doubt jumps in. He said he might around soon. So we'll see.
Around soon.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well,
That's the
hopefully you get
that's
some more company soon.
that's the best I got.
All right. Well, it was fun as always. We'll have to do this again sometime between now and MMC.
Oh,
And
there'll definitely be more of these.
yeah.
Wait.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. This is why I wanted Joe here because I wanted to ask a group, two people as a group, I guess,
Okay.
in my mind. But I wanted to ask. So one of the things I was thinking about doing is I wanted to take like either an hour or 2 hours of the show, and I wanted because I'm going to pay for the upgrade on the StreamYard. I'll be able to, like I said, stream to multiple places, but I'll
Sure.
also be able to have like 10 people on screen at once. Is it 10?
Okay.
I think it's 10. Anyway, um, and I was thinking I could take like an hour or two and do like a stick cam and have a whole bunch of like, maybe 13 heathens and you know, maybe I
Yeah,
can get Jasper Avi and DOS American Atheist to spend some time on a panel like a stick cam type panel.
that'd be
Um,
cool.
yeah, wouldn't that be cool? I think it
That'd
would
be
be cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Peach rolled her eyes. I'm like, oh come on, it would be cool. She's like, Stickam, that was so long ago. I was like, that's exactly the point. One of
Bringing
the
it back.
yeah, like one of the taglines um for the show. It actually works as far as like trans rights, and it
Mhm.
also works on the nostalgia level. Is anything not saved will be lost.
Yeah.
And I thought that was because that's the
That's
Nintendo save screen.
right.
And I thought it works on so many levels and yeah, it works for like trans rights and trans issues. Um,
Definitely.
anything not
Unfortunately.
saved will
Yeah.
be lost.
No, that's a
So,
great line to use. Yeah.
so anyway, I think you doing an hour or two of stick cam type thing is the same
That's a
kind of
cool
a
I
thing.
think yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea.
So, okay, you can leave
All
now.
right. All right. Thank you for inviting me.
We'll
Bye.
talk again soon.
We sure will.
So now the chat will empty. There goes everybody. I'm kidding. There's only 4 of you anyway, and one of them is me. Um, so anywho, for those of you who might still be here, I'm kind of hoping Agent of Doubt pops in. He's supposed to. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's cool. Um, so yeah, again, for those of you not familiar, starting in 2010, I want to say, in 2010. It was either the end of 2009 or the beginning of 2010. I think it was the beginning of 2010. I held my first um, charity event fundraiser. I modeled it after uh, the telethons back in the day. And what I did was I took 36 hours of time and I invited as many people as I could find who had, not all of them had, but as many as I could find with a significant audience. and people that I knew and people that I enjoyed. Way back in the day, I was friends with a lot of YouTubers who were pretty decent sized at the time, who eventually grew to have big mega channels. But I was friends with. Um, that I would either knew personally or knew from the internet or met them at a meetup or whatever. Um, and I would get as many of them as I could, and I would give everybody an hour, and I would write up a whole schedule and have, I would run this whole thing from behind the scenes. And the big opening number, which was me, I'm the big opening number. And then I would, every hour I would hand off the show to a new host. Dark Matter, Richard Coughlin, DPR Jones, Thunderfoot was on, Steve Shives has been on, Jacqueline Glenn. The Amazing Atheist was supposed to be on, and he canceled at the last minute. I think that was the second show I did, I think. And the Amazing Atheist buddy Galen, for those of you who don't know, Galen took over his slot and did an okay job. Um, Peach, a lot of big YouTubers back in the day. Like I said, and some of them have actually grown to be really big YouTubers. But they would all take an hour and they would do whatever it was they were going to do for the hour. And every now and then, just remind people this is a fundraiser and we're raising money for, at the time, it was the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative, IAVI. And we raised a lot of money. We raised so much money that in their Manhattan headquarters, they've got a wall of like tiles, and it's all of the big donors, um, people who have given to the charity, and it's nobody's. It, for the most part, it's names of organizations or government agencies. There's like the Ministry of Health from Canada, and this big giant company of health from wherever. And then there's my name and Madness Mayhem and Charity on a plaque. And I was considered, or the show was considered, a private donor as opposed to an organization or a publicly held company. So we were considered a private donor. And Madness Mayhem and Charity was the largest private donor on the planet to the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative. And it's something that I was very proud of. I am still very proud of. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so little old me, did that with my friends online on a weekend in 2010. It's pretty cool. But after 2017, I stopped. When at the time I owned a deli and I was working like 120 hours a week. Peach was pregnant with our first child. And it just got to be too much to do the show and to work and to take care of everything at home. And then when Damon was born, I closed the deli. I gave up the business and I spent the next few years being the primary caregiver to a little boy who is on the autism spectrum. He has ASD. And then a couple years later, we had another kid. He's now 5. He is also on the spectrum. So we have 2 special needs kids, and they swallowed up my life, as kids do. I mean, it's just part of parenthood. But yeah, it was hard. So I stopped doing the show. I stopped doing the charity event, and I feel like I'd done so many of them. The first couple of years I did 2 a year, and then it went just as to once a year. So I've done so many of them that part of a big chunk of my online life was centered around the charities, between planning them and inviting people to be on them and to advertise them and the whole deal. It's a really big production to do that kind of a show. To do it to not, because I mean honestly, you can just throw something together if you want to do something, or you can do it the right way. Um, so if you really care, you plan it, and you're careful about it. I mean, I had to schedule hosts that were around the world, to be on at a time that made sense for their country. And when you go back and you look at the viewership, there were viewers for the event that literally went around the world. Um, from Australia to Europe to Asia to Africa and North and South America. Um, I'm really proud of that. But I never gave the show an end that was fitting. Like I never gave that whole series, that whole part of my internet life and my activist and fundraising life. I never gave it a proper ending. It just disappeared. It just stopped. Since the last show, my kids went from being special needs babies to being special needs toddlers to now special needs school kids. Um, they're a lot more independent than they used to be. They're still very dependent. They have very specialized type issues, or very specific to them anyway, type issues um, that are ongoing issues where it's learning both them and us. Um, but it's something that we work on. But still, I am not as tied to them as I used to be. They can go out and play. They play out in the yard, and they run and they play with the dog, and so I have more time to think about whether or not I can or want to give that part of my internet life a proper closing. And I kind of see this charity event is doing that. Also, since the last time I had a charity event, I've transitioned since then. um, and that's why I wanted to do this last show as um, a fundraiser for trans issues. The idea is to actually raise money for the transgender center, the National Center for Transgender Equality. Um, I think it's a worthy. I think it's a worthy cause. I looked at a couple of others. One of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to do the Protect the Dolls, but after looking into it, while it seemed like a worthy charity at first, and I'm not saying it's completely unworthy, but it's more of a marketing campaign for T-shirts, um, unfortunately. Um, I mean, proceeds from it do go to, certain things or whatever. Um, but really, it was to get the T-shirts out there. It's more of a messaging campaign than it is an actual charity. Um, and again, it's a message I support, so I don't have an issue with it. It's just, it's not something I'm going to raise money for. I'm going to raise money for something that's got more value than that. If if you know what I mean. I am getting old and I sit on my feet like I used to, and it hurts. Sorry. I am getting old. Um I'm still hoping that Agent of Doubt pops in. And if he doesn't, it's all right, but it's kind of hoping. Wow. What was that? That was like an orb. I don't believe in those, but I just saw one. That was weird. That was the ghost of Christmas future. um so anyway, yeah, so that's what I want to do. And I wanted to, like I was saying earlier, I want to lean into the LGBT of it, and I also want to lean into the nostalgia. And I actually thought I was really clever with the Nintendo save screen. Yeah. There goes another orb. That was the Ghost of Christmas Past. Um, yeah. I wanted to like lean into that whole thing as far as like, anything not saved. How's it go? Anything not saved would be lost. Videos. Yeah, everything not saved will be lost. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. This show will be fun. This show is always fun. Actually, it really is. Traditionally, they're 36-hour shows. And like I said, every hour there's a new host. I've never had enough hosts to fill every hour of 36 hours. So the first hour is me, the last hour is me, and I would pop in here and there throughout the day and night, because it runs overnight. Um, I'll have people on in the middle of the night who are typically online anyway in the middle of the night. There's a YouTuber, 13 Heathens, that I don't know if they still do it. They did a show um, that would run all night long, and it was this type of a thing where they did a live stream, and they would have a whole bunch of people that would come and go, and they would talk and they would just talk and chat and talk to the chat and chat with the talk and all that kind of stuff, and they'd do it for hours and hours, and there was puppets and the whole thing. It was fun. I spent a lot of hours just in the chat in their audience, and had them on MMC, and had them on in the middle of the night. It kept people entertained. They raised some money. It's always for a good cause. I gotta see if I can find them again. I haven't seen any of their stuff in a while. I don't know. But there goes another orb. Oh my God. It is, I don't know, this place is like orbing out or something. Let's see. Are you around, Michael? No, you're not. No, they're not fireflies. I don't know what the fuck they are. Actually, I think they might be fruit flies. Um, we normally get them in August, and they'll stick around for a while, and they're really fucking annoying, but they're usually gone by now. But if you're watching, every now and then there's like a white, it looks like an orb in those like ghost hunter type videos. You're like, oh, look, it's an orb. No, it's probably a fly. The light on your camera is hitting them, and it looks like an orb. Yes, it's the ghost of your second grandmother. Thrice removed. She's coming back to tell you you suck. Hey, Peaceable Kingdom, how are you? I don't know how long you've been in here. If you're just coming in, you missed Steve Shives and I just kind of chatting for a few hours. He just left a couple minutes ago. I did send an invite to Agent of Doubt. He says that he's kind of busy tonight, but he'll try to pop in. So we'll see if he does. If he does, it's cool. If not, that's also cool. Um, you know, what else? 20 minutes maybe. Okay. Um, Joe, Serious Mind, was going to come in, but he's not feeling well. He's in a lot of pain, so he went to bed. Okay. Brian J was invited to come, and he's got something to do early in the morning. So he is right now probably sound asleep, as he should be. So yeah. So here I am, It's not even midnight. I don't have any place to be tomorrow. Um, doing a lot of stuff in the house though. I gotta tell you, I got a lot done today, which is unusual. I have fallen into a very lazy kind of a groove. It's not a good thing. It's good for like a couple days, but when it gets to be like a couple years, that's not good. That's just not good at all. But no, but today I got a lot done. Like, okay, so we bought this house, and downstairs, was a bathroom, or is a bathroom. There's a laundry room that's big enough for maybe, a microwave and, a refrigerator, but we couldn't do a full kitchen in there. I mean, we could if we had the money and really wanted to spend time really getting it right, but and we ain't got all that. Well, we could put like a fridge and a microwave down there. That's cool. There's a family room. There's a bar. It's nice. It's not great. It's nice. And so when we moved in, that was the shtick, right? And we figured this would be fun. And then the kids came, and as I was just saying, they're both the boys are special needs. So when it became clear that their childhood wasn't going to be as typical as we would like, um, the downstairs area became at first my office. It was really where I had a desk and I would live stream and make my videos there. It was difficult to do that though when the boys were up here, and I was down there, and I was their primary caregiver. Um, Damon's more than Kai's, but whatever. It was I was the person, you know. Peach worked, so it became difficult. So I stopped making videos. I stopped doing charity events. I stopped making videos. I spent more time with the kids and less time doing this. And instead of making videos, I relied more on live streams than videos in order to stay in touch with people online that I was friends with and from subscribers and followers and fans. I have one fan in particular, somebody who apparently hates me, but gives me a down thumb on every video I post within a minute or two of me posting it. And it's been that way for years. This person hates me so much that everything I post gets a down thumb like that. And I live rent free in their head, and I have no idea who they are. Anyway, so downstairs just became a dumping ground, just piles of just crap, empty boxes, tools, painting supplies, craft supplies, old toys, all kinds of crap. And I took today, I had a friend come over and we took care of a lot of it, actually. We put a lot of downstairs together in a way that makes sense again. And it's almost usable space. We have a little dining area. There's a refrigerator in the laundry room, a microwave in the laundry room. So it's, if you're down there and you want to make a hot pocket, you can. Um, if you want to make a hot pocket while you're doing laundry, you can do that. There's a little dining room table, and there's like a little family room with a TV and a couch, and so it's all mostly been like the major mess of it has been cleaned up and picked up. There's doors that need to be put back up on their tracks, or like pocket doors and sliding doors and stuff. They need to be put back on their tracks and picked up. It needs to be like cleaned with like, spray cleaner or stuff to clean, so you can eat off of it. That needs to happen. Um, there's locks on certain doors that have to be locked when their kids are down there just to keep them safe. So I got to worry about that. But by the end of this weekend, possibly by the end of tomorrow, it'll be a usable space for the kids. Um, that I think, if we do this right, will be game changing for them. It just gives them a whole lot more space that they can like live in and play in and explore with a TV. And, you know, um, we had this past summer, we had stairs put on our back deck. We had a deck with never had any stairs on it, but we had stairs put on the back deck. We had the deck, the surface of like resurfaced, like new decking and new railings and stuff. We did all that, and we fenced in all of our property. I mean, that's right there is about $30,000 that we put into home improvements on that, so the boys would have more space. So that trend is continuing. So yeah, by the end of this weekend, they will have complete, for the first time in their lives, they will have a nearly complete run of the entire house and most of our property. There's a big chunk of property in the back that if we didn't fence in, it's too many trees. It's too big. There's a big cliff. It's just too much of a nightmare to try to fence it. So we didn't bother. God, I couldn't even imagine how much it would cost to do that. Um, but but they have a complete run of most of the property and most of the house for the first time in their lives, and I'm looking forward to them having that much freedom and space, and curious how they will use it, and how having that will affect them in their growth. You know what I mean? So kind of a big deal. But that's what's happening now. That's why I spent my day getting that ready. And yeah, same thing tomorrow. It'll be more of the same tomorrow. It's, you know, it is what it is. You pick your battles. You pick your battles and you do what you can. Um, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. But I thought these days were done because I've got two older kids, you know. My oldest, what's today? It is currently the 6th for the next couple minutes. Um, yeah, 3 days ago, my oldest turned 31. Um, my daughter is 28. And that was it. I was done. I was done. I did my job. My kids, they grew up, they moved out, they got their own places, you know. My kid lives in PA, the oldest one, he lives in PA, he's a musician, really good musician. And my daughter is living her life. She's doing her thing, and she's got her own place that she's renting, and she's doing her thing. So I was done, and I started over because I'm fucking crazy. Yeah, the little things mean so much more than a lot of people think. Like, if you don't have to think about where something came from or what it takes sometimes, like the fence, putting up the fence. I mean, it lines the driveway and it goes across the front yard. It goes all the way down around the house and around the backyard. And we had to have a machine come in and like flatten part of the yard so it was usable because our yard was we've got like an acre of property, 3/4 of an acre. Um, and a big chunk of it is down a cliff and it goes to a stream. And it's a great piece of property. You just can't access that area very easily. So because of that, we never go back there. So I got almost a half an acre of trees. They're all falling now because they're all ash trees and they're falling like crazy. But it's never used. So it's still not used. So we fenced in the part that we normally use. And so it goes all around the backyard, then back this way along the driveway and stops at the house. So if the kids go out the front door or the back door, they're immediately in the fenced in area. So they can run outside and they can't get outside of the fence. They're locked in for their safety, right? They can't go anywhere. So they can run all the way around, mostly all the way around the house. There's an area that they can't cross because that's where the driveway is. Um, and there's a gate on the front and the backyard, you know, so they can run that whole area. And that, just doing that was like over $13,000. Um, that was a lot of fucking money. You know, the deck was another 7. The leveling of the property to make the fence possible, you know, that was another 3. 3, 3, 4, 3. You know, I mean, so yeah, the little things in life, right? The little things can be very expensive, you know, and having a piece of fenced-in property when you have special needs kids is so important. Yeah, I mean, it's like monumentally important. It's just a massive thing. And people just take it for granted, that kind of a thing. It's like, no, you know, if you live in a place that's fenced in, and it was fenced in when you moved in, you might not be aware of what it takes to have a large area fenced in. It is very expensive. Um, and once we had it done, it was life changing for us. Um, it's just a fence, but the kids can go outside and they run and they play, and they've shown so much growth. It's important. It's important. It's a big deal. Um, and the deck. We have a deck off the back of the house on the second floor, right outside the kitchen. It's got a picnic table on it, you know, a patio table, and I got a gas grill out there, but it never had stairs. So we had the deck redone, and now we have stairs that go into the yard. So the kids can go out the front door, run around the house, come up, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. They can come up the stairs on the deck and come into the kitchen. So we have a gate that blocks the kitchen off from the rest of the house because one of our children likes to go into the kitchen and open up the fridge and open up the doors and walk away. So if you don't know he's done it, who knows how long the doors on the fridge will be open. Or he likes to take food out of the fridge and just put it on the floor. Or he likes to take garbage out of the garbage and put it in the freezer. He thinks that kind of stuff is funny for some reason. So we had to put a gate up to keep him out of the kitchen. Well, he figured out that he could go out the front door and run around the house and come up the back steps and come into the kitchen and do that shit anyway, even though we have a gate. Because of course he does. You know what I mean? Of course he does. Like I went into the fridge the other day and there was a Halloween trick or treat pumpkin, a plastic pumpkin full of leaves in the fridge. Because of course there was. Of course. Children are a joy. It is what it is. What you gonna do? Yeah. So that's the thing. And it's not something that like Peach or I talk about a lot online. Um, so funny. So true. So true. But yeah, like I mean I touched on it when I was talking with Steve, right? But like our lives went from yelling at people online to yelling at kids in real life. Um, it's yeah, it's interesting stuff. Is also interesting. So something else I wanted to talk about the election a bit, and Steve and I didn't really touch on that. I don't know how willing he is to typically talk about politics. Um, and I mean, I guess it depends. I used to be really, hey, aka Zenith Cause. Yeah, I'm always back. I come, I go, and then I come back. Um, Anyway, I don't know how Steve usually is with politics, if he's really, and I'll talk about it too, but really, sometimes it depends. What's the matter, puppies? Is my doggy? No, you can't see my doggy. Come here. Sylvie. No? Okay. All right. Um, yeah, it's funny. The good old days. Um, but yeah, like the politics. So like the election was a sweep across the country. Obviously not everywhere. Anywhere there was an off year election was a sweep for the left, for Democrats, for blue in general, team blue, and we have a local our local um, Republican, our county Republicans, their chair put out a video today. Wait, was it today it came out? Either today or yesterday. And it was today. And where he's talking about, um, that the Democrats, as much as he hates them, the Democrats have, really, had a really good performance in the election, and that the right wing has to kind of get their stuff together, and they have to be more they have to be more aligned in what they believe, and they have to really change their approach in order to get their message across. And he talked about the whole thing using militaristic jargon, and wartime jargon. And he talked about losing men on the battlefield, and talked about being outside the wire. And it's just like, dude, you're talking about elections. This isn't war. You cannot. It's so incredibly unhealthy to look at elections, right? Like you're prosecuting a, a military campaign. You don't want to kill your opponents, do you? I mean, is that what we're at now? Is that where he's at in his head? And when he talked about how much he hates over and over again, he talked about how much he hates Democrats in general, right? It didn't matter, who the people were, what they really believed. All that mattered to him was that they had a D next to their name, and if they have that D, they're the enemy. Such a ridiculous, unhelpful, unhealthy, ridiculous way of talking about your countrymen. Um, and all I could think of watching him was, other than be outraged by how he approaches the entire subject, he talked about they need to improve their approach in order to get their message across. And I'm just thinking, dude, it's not the approach. It's the message that's the problem. Your message is Trump. That's a problem. Your message is people who don't agree with us are the enemies of our country. That's a bad message. Here's your puppies. Who's a puppy doggy? Oh, the puppy doggy. Um, that's so unhealthy, so unhelpful. There's nothing in what he said about helping humanity. There's nothing in what he said about making the country better, or making our society healthier. All he cared about was Democrats are evil and they need to be stopped. It's just like, I don't think that all Trump supporters are evil. I don't believe that all Trump supporters want to destroy the country. I think that Donald Trump wants to destroy the country, or at best, doesn't care if it's destroyed as long as he gets what he wants. And I think there are people who follow him that don't believe that that's really what he feels. Um, I I think there are people who think that Trump isn't serious about the things that he says, and then when he does the things that he says, then they pretend that they agreed with it all along. I mean, it's this constant game of chicken that he plays with his followers that they constantly lose because they always have to readjust their beliefs to fit his actions. So it's like he says he's going to do something. They're like, he's not going to do that. He's joking. Then when he does it, they say, he said he was going to do it. And I think it's the best thing. So they're constantly moving the goalposts. They're constantly having to readjust their own beliefs in order to keep up with him. Trump has rug pulled his own followers with a meme coin. Yeah, and he made $3 or $4 billion off of it. Unprecedented, and we need to be unprecedented. It's just it's mind blowing. Like I don't know if he actively wants to destroy the country, right? I don't know if he's that bad, but I am 100% positive that he doesn't care if it's destroyed while he's getting what he wants. It's him first, everybody else second. And why people can't see that, I don't know. I think it's clear. I think it's obvious. I think he brought Musk in order to do the things that he wasn't smart enough to do. And was happy and fine to allow Musk to profit off of it. Who did profit off of it to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. Billions of dollars of services that are no longer available to the American people. Billions of dollars of aid that we sent in order to build goodwill with the rest of the world and to help humanity in general. I mean, the United States is not, we do not have the best of intentions all the time. And we have made many missteps as a country on the world stage. And we are guilty as a country of a lot of really terrible things. It is true. But I am here to tell you that we are just as capable of good things and have done equal measure of bad we have done in good around the world. And we have lifted millions of people out of starvation and poverty. That's not something to stop. And that's not something to say you're being railroaded out of or stolen from you. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to continue to do and to be proud of because it buys us goodwill. It's not just for the sake of doing it. I don't believe that anybody is that philanthropic. I think in order for philanthropy to exist, people need a motive to do it. I do believe that. And I think goodwill is a good motive. So, yeah, man, the guy faints at it and he's like, how could you do this to me? Yeah, and he looked away from the guy. And apparently RFK like ran out of the room. It's what the hell, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about humanity. He doesn't care about human life. He doesn't care about our reputation. He doesn't care. They talk about all the money that's being saved from, all of these programs being destroyed. So where'd that money go? Where is it? Where is it? If it's not going out to other countries as aid, if it's not being sent as food through USAID to other countries to feed children, if it's not going there, then where's it going? Yeah, Argentina. It's going to Argentina. It's going to Elon Musk. It's going to a lot of places that it shouldn't be. And it's not paying for the things that it should. So, and that's terrible. And again, he might not want to destroy the country, but he also does not care if it succeeds or if it fails. And I don't know which is worse. Because I think if you're trying to destroy something, at least you care. Does that make sense? You know? But if you're indifferent, I mean, that's worse. That's just so much worse. And I do believe he's indifferent. People are like, oh, but he said, yeah, he said a lot of things. Most of them just not true. You know, oh, he kept his promises. Well, where, which ones? I don't see it. Oh, yeah, he hurt trans people. Oh, he hurt people. That was a promise. Oh, yeah. You know, and now they're going to reverse gay marriage for no reason. The right is saying that, after, years of hurting children, how does gay marriage hurt children? What is the nonsense? Absolute and total BS. That's it. That's all he's been able to really accomplish is he hurts people. And if you happen to be one of the people um, that likes that he hurt people or that agrees with hurting the people that he's hurt, well, then you might think he's done a good job. But other than that, my fucking God. Is that who we are now? It's not who I am. And I really don't think most people are like that. I don't. I don't believe that. Oh well, I don't think most people believe that. Well, you guys are both boys, so you can't get married. I don't think people believe that. I do not think that's the majority opinion. I do not believe that the majority of Americans hate trans people. I don't believe that. I think a lot of people don't understand. I think a lot of people have been lied to. I think a lot of people um, have an agenda that makes it necessary for them to lie to people about trans people. But I don't think that the majority of Americans actually hate trans people. I think a lot of people just don't understand. And I can understand not understanding. It's understandable. You know, I don't know. It really is like that meme, the house is on fire. And it's a little dog, right? And the dog is like, this is fine. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Or it's the fat kid from The Simpsons on the bus, right? I'm in danger. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. All I know is we need another couple of elections like the last one, like the one this past Tuesday, and maybe we can start salvaging what's left of our republic. That's another thing. I am so sick of people go, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. Yeah, in the form of a representative democracy. That's why you vote, you fucking idiot. Oh, yeah, people are easily frightened, especially when you have people telling lies about uh, high school students using litter boxes. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you really believe that this is happening? That, there are kids that are trans that identify as cats and they will only poop in a litter box. Tough. You really believe this? The fuck is wrong with people? I mean, they debated that in Congress. That's how seriously they took it. What in the motherless fuck is that? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But somebody they trusted said it. Therefore, it must be true. Yeah, that guy. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's gone. Yeah, Peaceable Gaming. Yeah, right, exactly. And Kaz, the gay hairdresser, he's no longer there. He's been released. I think he's back in his home country. I believe. But he survived, which I was worried he wouldn't. But from what I had heard, he was um sexually assaulted. He was raped in that prison multiple times. And that was one of the things I feared when I heard his story about how he was arrested, and how the whole thing went down. Um, and it was just like this guy he's gonna have a hard time. He's gonna suffer. And when they there was a news story about it, they didn't go into much detail. They did talk about that he was released. Um, and that, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, absolutely fucking horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. And to think that that happened to him because our president is a fucking moron. Um, because he's a racist who doesn't care, and the cruelty and the pain and the torture is exactly the point. That's why that happened to him. Absolutely fucking terrible. Um, and what happened to him is a stain on our country. And we'll never ever be able to wash that off. We'll never be able to clean that. And we can blame Trump because Trump is to blame, but I mean, but it's our country, and that stain will not come off. Yeah, genuine monsters. Um, you know, dude was here legally. Legally, he was here legally. We was working. He's a hairdresser, and he did nothing to nobody. Did nothing wrong. No, not a criminal in any sense of the word. And that happened to him because our president is a scumbag. How wonderful. Bully for us. So fucking sad. And the fact that there are people that are okay with that is absolutely frightening. Absolutely frightening. Mm. Yeah, the problem is Congress wouldn't do it. Fuck, Congress won't do anything. House of Representatives has only been in session 15 days since July. It is November. What, 5 months? The motherfuckers are getting paid. They don't work. I'm gonna go to work on Monday. I'm on a 4-day weekend now, so I'll go back on Monday. And I'm gonna go into the office and I'm gonna tell them, hey, if Congress can work 15 days in 5 months and get paid for it, I expect the same. I'm an American citizen. I'm gonna tell them, you know, I'm going home. I'll be back in 3 or 4 weeks. And thank you for the paychecks. Why not? That's what Congress does. Hmm. And then people talk about Trump, right? Oh, but he doesn't take a paycheck. He doesn't? Really? You think so? That's bullshit. I mean, forget about like all the money he's making off of the Trump Hotel. Forget about all the money that he makes when he goes to his golf courses and the Secret Service has to pay to do their jobs. They have to pay. The federal government is paying Trump for the Secret Service to do their jobs protecting him. Right? How is that not a paycheck? How is that not a paycheck? Not only is he getting paid, but those sources of income, those sources of revenue for him are illegal. They're unconstitutional. The only pay that a president is legally allowed to have is his salary, is his paycheck. Any other any other source of income to him is a violation of the Constitution. He has not been legally or behaving in a legal manner in any way, shape, or form since the very first day he took office in his first term. Every single day he's been breaking the law. Just by being in office, with doing nothing else, he's breaking the law because he is earning revenue elsewhere. Every safeguard that is put in place by the founders were put in place in order to protect the country from somebody exactly like Trump. The problem is the assumption is that if somebody like Trump were to take office, there would be people to stop him. The founders did not imagine that an entire party would decide that they were just willing to give up the republic. So, but here we are. Here we are, living in the founders' worst nightmare, while the empire that never should have existed. This country was not built to be an empire. It became one anyway. So here we are living in the founder's worst nightmare as the empire is collapsing. My country, 'tis of thee. So I don't know. Go figure, right? And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you tried to explain Trump's corruption in full detail, if you were to lay everything out, people are like, that's just impossible. No, it's not. It's not impossible. And the reason it's not impossible is because he is surrounded by yes men who just let him do it. And there are people like, okay, so in my local area, on Halloween, there was a huge party at a house. It was a house party. And many kids from the high school apparently were there. And the owners of the house, the parents of that household, supplied the alcohol. It's illegal. It's dangerous. There's laws against that for a reason. People found out about it because there's a lot of kids and it was Halloween and they were drunk. Um, I don't know if the police were called. Nobody got in trouble, from what I understand. There were no injuries. No kid died. Nobody vomited or choked on it. Nothing like that. It's just that the details of it and that the parents had paid for the alcohol became public. So it is a matter of gossip in town. And I am shocked by the number of adults, parents, people in positions of responsibility and authority, how many of them are saying, what's the big deal? At least they weren't in the woods, you know? What's the big deal? So these people that you don't know are feeding your kids alcohol illegally, obviously, in a party setting, and you don't think that's a big deal? Really? So are my kids safe around you and your children? Am I safe driving through the same neighborhood you live in? I hear my kids. I don't know what they're doing, but I hear them. But it's that kind of a thing, right? So there are people who are seeing things that are clearly illegal and thinking, so what? And I think there's a lot of that around Trump. So what? Yeah, he's collecting money from this or that or whatever, but so what? Um, the ballroom, right? The ballroom, this ridiculous fucking ballroom that he demolished the East Wing for, right? Everybody's just like, oh, but the taxpayers aren't paying for it, so that's good. It's like, no, he's taking private donations. You don't understand how that's worse? It would be better if the taxpayers were paying for it. But what you're describing as a win is worse. Like, how can you not see that? So these people, these corporations, right? These big companies, these tech giants are pouring money into his pocket to build this big stupid ballroom that no American is ever going to fucking see. No average person will ever set foot in it, right? These tech giants are pouring money into his pocket for this, to fund this for him in order to get favors in return. You don't see how that's a problem or how it could somehow conflict with what's best for you or the country? The fuck is wrong with people? There's laws against that for a reason. There's a reason why, the people's house, which is the White House, is not a private residence, it's a public residence, right? We own that. You just can't go ripping pieces off. You don't, as president, you don't have that right. And he did it anyway. That's not a power he's supposed to have. It's not a right he has. By his own logic, from an executive order he passed in the past, his own executive order, he should be imprisoned for 10 years. He defaced a national monument. According to him and his executive order, that is punishable by 10 years in prison. He tore down the East Wing. How is that not defacing a national monument? Because the White House is listed as a national monument. And nobody does shit. Nobody does shit. He just continues to. Yeah. Yeah, because he was upset because people were pulling down Confederate statues. So it was already a crime. He just added it into his executive order, and it has the punishment of 10 years in prison. So he sits there in our marble building and breaks whatever laws he wants, and nobody does a fucking thing about it. Yeah, right. Nobody spends that much money renovating a palace for the next guy. Right, because he's not planning on leaving. He keeps talking about maybe I'll run again. But we all know there's not going to be another national election. He's made that clear. He said it during the campaign, right? Vote for me, you'll never have to vote again. Was there ever a clear answer for that? Was that never clarified? I mean, he did say it. Vote for me, you'll never have to vote again. Was there a defense of that that made sense? I don't remember it. I love Jon Stewart. He says the best shit. Yeah, exactly. Mike Pence grew a spine and he stopped it. No, actually, we did not chat about Cheney's passing. Um, I don't like to celebrate anybody's death unless they got shot in the neck. So he was an Obama hating war criminal. Absolutely. Most of them are Obama hating war criminals. Um, but I don't want to celebrate his death because, like I said, he didn't get shot in the neck. Yeah, I mean, Mike Pence, he knew what the answer was, but he wanted to make sure. And he actually went and he asked around, like, hey, this is what I'm being asked to do. Is this legal? I don't think it is. And he's told, no, that's not legal. No, don't do that. And, he didn't do it. As much as I agree with you, as much as I don't like Mike Pence, he did the right thing. When it came down to it, at the end of the day, he did the right thing. But the real right thing would have actually been getting together with the cabinet and removing Trump for, under the 25th Amendment. Um, that's what should have happened. Dick Cheney having a hunting accident. Yeah, no, 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 no. It is funny though, but no, I wasn't going to go there. Um, I've seen with the whole getting shot in the neck thing. There was uh like a video. It says the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and it's a statue of Charlie Kirk, and there's water spurting out of his neck, and it's like that is awful and brilliant at the same time. Um, I don't know if you saw any of the footage of Charlie Kirk when he got shot. It was kind of horrifying. Um, Yeah, impeachment is in the original Constitution. It's just a different method. Um, they tried to impeach, they tried to impeach, and the Senate wouldn't convict them. So since you can't do that, you need another method. And another method would have been the 25th Amendment. And I don't think it would have been difficult to make a case under the 25th. It's just that they're just not willing to do it. And that just tells you something about how, at the end of the day, it's about money. It isn't about the Constitution. It isn't about the Republic. It isn't about the rule of law. It isn't even about party loyalty. More than anything else, it's about money. So, right. It's insane how Mitch fucking McConnell is responsible for this. Yeah. Yeah. I blame the state of the Supreme Court, at least to some degree. I blame on Obama. Um, no, to be more accurate, actually, I blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Um, she should have stepped away long before she died. I mean, really, she should have stepped away and given Obama the opportunity to fill her spot. He had 8 years to do that. He would have been able to do it. She should have stepped away. She was of poor health and she was old. She knew that it was going to end up being an issue, and she decided to stick it out. And because of that, it put Obama in the position that he was in, and it handed the Supreme Court to Trump. Handed it to him. Have your way with it, basically. That was a mistake, but it is what it is. You can't do anything about it, right, puppy? Right? Mm. So what time is it? Where is this going? I've been going for 3 hours and 41 minutes. 3 hours 42 minutes. So Asia of Doubt did not pop in, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to close up the show. Did not end up being as lively as a show as I hoped. And this is why I don't normally do this on a Thursday, because you can't do that on a Thursday. So all right, this is good. This was fun. I had a good talk with Steve Shives. That's always fun, especially talk about Trek. I could talk about Trek all night, but I'm tired. And dog, what are you doing? And I will stream again. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, it's all fun and games until nobody's having fun anymore. Yeah, he was on this a little while ago. All right. So good night. It was good to see you. Good to see everybody. This was a pretty good show. Most of the people that were here earlier were here for Steve. Nobody sticks around for me. He left. The viewers left. Whatever. It's all good. I know I'm worthy. All right. Good night. Bye. And to all you watchers who are watching quietly, have a good night.